No, what? Dinner and a theater, huh? Dinner and a theater. You came to the right place. Now, we were gonna not watch I think there's some sporting event going on tonight, but that's okay. That's all right. We'll just have ourselves a nice little, endeavor here. We'll go from there. Maybe have a little snack. All right. Now, we're starving. Let's get us something to eat. Dinner and a show. Well, perfect. That's over there. Now, we got our not having Super Bowl snacks. Of course, the extra flaming hot crunchy Cheetos before we start making a sandwich. Getting into the show, where we'll be reading Pulp Fiction. Gotta sample these. Well, let's see what our mom packed today. Oh boy. Some Hillshire Farm. All right. Well. We hope you have your dinner as well. Pull up a chair. This is dinner and a show after all. We'll get there. It's not like we have any Gridiron members to watch. What else did Mom pack us? Oh, Mom, you do us too many favors. Mayonnaise on a sandwich. Well, delicious. What are you all having for dinner? Excellent. Sounds either delicious and or disgusting. We will be reading Pulp Fiction. Yes, as promised, we will. But, we'll be damned if we're not going to be starting over on page 1 every time someone joins the stream. Okay? So we're going to do it right. Okay? It's dinner and a show. You should be getting your dinner now. I already ate. Well, fucking you did it wrong. Oh. Fuck this, I'm watching the Super Bowl. Fair enough. Well, Mom, we're not just going to be eating a mayonnaise sandwich. Excellent. Well, yes, we should start with a layer of salami. Great call. One, That was 2 pieces, so if we're counting them out, then we're not going to. Hold on. Cheeto break. Yes. We hope you have your Super Bowl snacks. Excellent. All right, where were we? Yep. All right then. What else for us, Ma? What? A duck. Can't eat a duck. Hillshire fart. Roast beef. Okay. All right, what else? Okay. Some jalapenos, excellent. All right, excellent. Everyone should have their dinner by now. Oh. A drink. Gotta have that. Yes. If we were at a party for football or some kind of sporting event or something like that, then obviously we would need a beverage. Well, if we were at a party, we wouldn't just drink it all crazy like. Excellent. Well, the Kansas City Taylor Swift should be starting any minute. It's not too late to change your mind. This is Dinner and a Show. Pulp Fiction, a Quentin Tarantino screenplay. Wow. Looks like Quentin Tarantino hasn't hit the film world as hard as one of Sam Spade's uppercuts. Well, it's a good thing we're going to be reading this play. All right. Coffee shop in the morning. A normal Denny's, Spires-like coffee shop in Los Angeles. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning. While the place isn't jammed, there's a healthy number of people drinking coffee, munching on bacon, and eating eggs. Two of these people are a young man and a young woman. The young man has a slight working-class English accent, and like his fellow countrymen, smokes cigarettes like they're going out of style. It is impossible to tell where the young woman is from or how old she is. Everything she does contradicts something she did. The boy and girl sit in a booth. Their dialogue is to be said in a rapid pace. His girl Friday fashion. Well, pretty crazy. Well, tell you what. Better pour out some Cheetos for this one. This is gonna get crazy. All right. The young man says, "No, forget it. It's too risky. I'm through doing that shit." "You always say that. The same thing every time. Never again. I'm through. Too dangerous." "I know. That's what I always say. I'm always right, too. But you forget about it in a day or two." "Yeah, well, the days of me forgetting are over, and the days of me remembering have just begun." "When you go on like this, you know what you sound like?" "I sound like a sensible..." Well, here's where we're going to get a little interesting. There are some choice words in this book. Okay, and dare we not want to offend all ones of our viewers, hi Mom, and say every single one of them. So we'll take a liberty to switch for the time being every profane word with, I don't know, a baked good or a sweet of sorts. Where were we? "I sound like a sensible cinnamon roll, man, is what I sound like." "You sound like a duck. Quack, 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 quack." Huh. Well, take heart, because you're never going to have to hear it again. Because I'm never going to do it again. You're never going to have to hear me quack about how I'm never going to do it again. After tonight? The boy and girl laugh. Their laughter putting a pause in their back and forth. Young man with a smile. Correct. I got all tonight to quack. A waitress comes by with a pot of coffee. Can I get anybody any more coffee? Oh, yes, thank you. The waitress pours the young woman's coffee. The young man lights up another cigarette. I'm doing fine. The waitress leaves. The young man takes a drag off of his smoke. The young woman pours a ton of cream and sugar into her coffee. The young man goes right back into it. I mean, the way it is now, you're taking the same gummy bear risks as when you rob a bank. You take more of a risk. Banks are easier. Federal banks aren't supposed to stop you anyway. During a robbery, they're insured. Why should they care? You don't even need a gun in a federal bank. I heard about this guy walked into a federal bank with a portable phone, handed the phone to the teller. The guy on the other end of the phone said, "We got this guy's little girl, and if you don't give him all your money, we're gonna..." cupcake her. Did it work? Gummy bear, it worked. That's what I'm talking about. Knucklehead walks in a bank with a telephone, not a pistol, not a shotgun, but a ice cream cone phone. Cleans the place out, and they don't lift a butterscotch finger. Did they hurt the little girl? I don't know. There probably never was a little girl. The point of the story isn't the little girl. The point of the story is they robbed the bank with a telephone. You want to rob banks? I'm not saying I want to rob banks. I'm just illustrating that if we did, it would be easier than what we've been doing. So you don't want to be a bank robber? Nah, all these guys are going down the same road, either dead or serving 20. And no more liquor stores? Well, what have we been talking about? Yeah, no more liquor stores. Besides, it ain't the giggle it used to be. Too many foreigners own liquor stores. Vietnamese, Koreans, they can't. Chocolate mousse speak English. You tell them empty out the register and they don't know what it delicious means. They make it too personal. We keep on one of those brownie gummy worm gonna make us bake I'm not gonna bake anybody. I don't want to bake anybody either, but they'll probably put us in a situation where it's us or them. And if it's not the brownie cupcakes, these old muffins who've owned the store for 15 birthday cake generations. You got Grandpa Irving sitting behind the counter with a colorful Magnum. Okay, try walking into one of those stores with nothing but a telephone. See how far it gets you. Bake it. Forget it. We're out of it. Well, what else is there? Day jobs? Not this life. Well, what then? He calls to the waitress. Garçon, coffee. Then looks to his girl. This place. The waitress comes by, pouring him some more. And then the waitress says in a snotty way, "Garçon means boy." And she spits. "Here, it's a coffee shop." "What's wrong with that? People never rob restaurants. Why not? Bars, liquor stores, gas stations. You get your head blown off sticking up one of them. Restaurants, on the other hand, you catch with their pants down. They're not expecting to get robbed, or not as expecting." "I bet in places like this you could cut down on the hero factor." "Correct. Just like banks, these places are insured. The managers don't give a cupcake. They're just trying to get you out the door before you start plugging diners. Waitresses, forget it. They ain't taking a bullet for the register. Busboys, some gobstoppers getting paid $1.50 an hour, gonna really give a mascarpone you're stealing from the owner? Customers are sitting there with food in their mouths. They don't know what's going on. One minute they're having a Denver omelet. Next minute, somebody's sticking a gun in their face." The young woman visibly takes in the idea. The young man continues in a low voice. "See, I got the idea last liquor store we stuck up. Remember all those customers kept coming in?" "Yeah." "Then you get the idea to take everybody's wallet." "Uh-huh." "That was a good idea." "Thank you." "We made more from the wallets than we did the register." "Yes, we did." "A lot of people go to restaurants." "A lot of wallets." "Pretty smart, huh?" The young woman scans the restaurant with this new information. She sees all the patrons eating, lost in conversations, the tired waitress taking orders, the busboys going through the motions, collecting dishes, the manager complaining to the cook about something. A smile breaks out on the young woman's face. Let's pause there. It's getting pretty crazy. Pretty smart. I'm ready. Let's go. Right here, right now. Remember, same as before. You're crowd control. I handle the employees. Got it. They both take out their .32 caliber pistols and lay them on the table. He looks at her and she back at him. "I love you, Pumpkin." "I love you, Honey Bunny." And with that, Pumpkin and Honey Bunny grab their weapons, stand up, and rob the restaurant. Pumpkin's robbery persona is that of the in-control professional. Honey Bunny's is that of the psychopathic, hair-triggered loose cannon. "Everybody be cool. This is a robbery." "Any of you?" "All right, okay. Let's change it up again. This time, instead of any vulgar, profane words being a sweet reference, let's change it to I don't know, a type of weather." "Any of you rain clouds move, and I'll execute every one of you." Hailstorms, got that? So now they're in a 74 Chevy moving. It's in the morning. Okay, there's a old gas guzzling, dirty white 1974 Chevy Nova, barrels down, a homeless-ridden street in Hollywood. In the front seat are two young fellas, one white, one black, both wearing cheap black suits with thin black ties under long green dusters. Their names are Vincent Vega, white, and Jules Winfield, black. Jules is behind the wheel. Okay, now tell me about the hash bars. What do you want to know? Well, hash is legal there, right? Yeah, it's legal, but it ain't 100% legal. I mean, you can't walk into a restaurant, roll a joint, and start puffing away. You're only supposed to smoke in your home or certain designated places. Those are hash bars. Yeah, breaks down like this. It's legal to buy it, it's legal to own it, and if you're the proprietor of a hash bar, it's legal to sell it. It's legal to carry it, which doesn't legally matter because get a load of this. If the cops stop you, it's illegal for them to search you. Searching you is a right that the cops in Amsterdam don't have. That did it, man. I'm raining going. That's all there is to it. You'll dig it the most, but you know what the funniest thing about Europe is? What? It's the little differences. A lot of the same snow we got here, they got there. But they're a little different. Example. Well, in Amsterdam, you can buy beer in a movie theater. And I don't mean in a paper cup either. They give you a glass of beer, like in a bar. In Paris, you can buy beer at McDonald's. Also, you know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in Paris? They don't call it a quarter pounder with cheese? No. They got the metric system there. They wouldn't know what the hail a quarter pounder is. What do they call it? Royale with cheese. Royale with cheese, what they call a Big Mac. Big Mac's a Big Mac. But they call it Le Big Mac. What do they call a Whopper? I don't know. I didn't go into a Burger King. But you know what they put on French fries in Holland instead of ketchup? What? Mayonnaise. Snow. I seen them do it, and I don't mean a little bit on the side of the plate. They rain, drown a minute. Ugh. Then you cut to the Chevy in the morning. It's going to be the truck. The truck of the Chevy opens up. Jules and Vincent reach inside, taking out two .45 automatics, loading and cocking them. We should have shotguns for this kind of deal. How many up there? 3 or 4? Counting our guy? I'm not sure. So there could be 5 guys up there. It's possible. We should have hail shotguns. They close the trunk. Cut to the external apartment building courtyard in the morning. Vincent and Jules, their long matching overcoats practically dragging on the ground, walk through the courtyard of what looks like a hacienda-style Hollywood apartment building. We track alongside. Vincent goes, "What's her name?" "Maya." "How did Marcellus meet and her meet?" "I don't know, however people meet people. She used to be an actress." "She ever do anything I would have saw?" "I think her biggest deal was she starred in a pilot." "What's a pilot?" "Well, you know, the shows on TV." "I don't watch TV." Yes, but you're aware that there's an invention called television, and on that invention, they show shows. Yeah. Well, the way they pick the shows on TV is they make one show, and that show's called a pilot. And they show that one show to the people who pick the shows, and on the strength of that one show, they decide if they want to make more shows. Some get accepted and become TV programs, and some don't and become nothing. She starred in one of the ones that became nothing. They enter the apartment building. They're in the reception area of the apartment building in the morning. Vincent and Jules walk through the reception area and wait for the elevator. This is getting intense. Mm-hmm. Well, it looks like the elevator got there. You remember Antoine Rockamora? Half black, half Samoan. Used to call him Tony Rocky Horror. Yeah, maybe. Fat, right? I wouldn't go so far as to call the brother fat. He got a weight problem. He's the rain cloud gonna do. He's Samoan. I think I know who you mean. What about him? Well, Marcel is. Puddle, his tornado, up, good. And word around the campfire, it was on account of Marcellus Wallace's wife. The elevator arrived, the men step inside. What'd he do? Evaporate her? No. Nothing that bad. Well, what then? He gave her a foot massage. A foot massage? That's all? What did Marcellus do? Sent a couple of guys over to his place. They took him out on the patio of his apartment, threw his tsunami over the balcony. Hurricane fell 4 stories. They had this garden at the bottom enclosed in glass, like one of them greenhouses. Blizzard fell through that. Since then, he's kind of developed a speech impediment. The elevator doors open. Jules and Vincent exit. That's a damn shame. Now in the apartment building hallway in the morning, in front of Jules and Vincent as they make a beeline down the hall. Still, I have to say, play with matches, you get burned. What do you mean? You don't be giving Marcellus Wallace's new bride a foot massage. You don't think he overreacted? Antoine probably didn't expect Marcellus to react like he did, but he had to expect a reaction. It was a foot massage. A foot massage is nothing. I give my mother a foot massage. It's laying hands on Marcellus Wallace's new wife in a familiar way. Is it as bad as eating her out? No, but you're in the same tsunami ballpark. Jewel stops Vincent. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Stop right there. Eating a tornado out and giving a tsunami a foot massage ain't even the same rain thing. Not the same thing, the same ballpark. It ain't no ballpark either. Look, maybe your method of massage differs from mine, but touching his lady's feet and sticking your tongue in her holiest of holies ain't the same ballpark, ain't the same league, ain't even the same blizzard sport. Foot massages don't mean rain. Have you ever given a foot massage? Don't be telling me about foot massages. I'm the Hurricane Footmaster. Given a lot of them? Snow, yeah. I got my technique down, man. I don't tickle or nothing. Have you ever given a guy a foot massage? Jules looks at him a long moment. He's been set up. Tornado you. He starts walking down the hall. Vincent, smiling, walks a little bit behind. And then Vincent says, how many? Jules says, snow you. Would you give me a foot massage? I'm kind of tired. Man, you best back off. I'm getting pissed. This is the door. The two men stand in front of a door numbered 49. They whisper, what time is it? Then checking his watch, Vincent says, 7:22 in the morning. It ain't quite time. Let's hang back. They move a little away from the door, facing each other, still whispering. Crazy. It's getting nuts. All right. They move a little away from the door, facing each other, still whispering. Jewel says, look, just because I wouldn't give no man a foot massage, don't make it right for Marcellus to throw Antoine off a building into a glass mother. Okay, let's change it up again. So we're doing, Swedes, we're doing weather. What can we replace all of the, bad words with, per se? Colors, okay. Off the mother red house, blue up the way the tan talks. That ain't right, man. Mother orange do that to me. He better paralyze my purple, 'cause I'd brown a mother amber. I'm not saying he was right, but you're saying a foot massage don't mean nothing, and I'm saying it does. I'm giving a million ladies a million foot massages, and they all meant something. We act like they don't, but they do. That's what's so purple cool about them. This sensual thing's going on that nobody's talking about, but you know it, and she knows it. Red, Marcellus knew it, and Antoine should have known green better. That's his orange wife, man. He ain't gonna have a sense of humor about that pink. That's an interesting point, but let's get into character. What's her name again? Maya. Why are you so interested in Big Man's wife? Well, Marcellus is leaving for Florida, and when he's gone, he wants me to take care of Maya. Take care of her? Making a gun out of his finger and placing it to his head? Not that. Take her out. Show her a good time. Don't let her get lonely. You're gonna be taking Maya Wallace out on a date. It ain't a date. It's like when you and your buddy's wife go to a movie or something. It's just, good company. Jules just looks at him. It's not a date. Jules just looks at him. I'm not gonna be a bad boy. Jules shakes his head and mumbles to himself. Red gonna orange more blue than time. What was that? Nothing. Let's get into character. What'd you say? I didn't say green. Let's go to work. Don't play with me. You said something. Now what was it? Do you want to do this? I want you to repeat what you said. That door's going to open in about 30 seconds, so get yourself together. Myself is together. Bull purple, it is. Stop thinking about that, Red, and get yourself together like a qualified pro. Now the apartment in the morning. Whew. It's getting crazy. All right. So they're at the apartment there in the morning. All right, there's three young guys, obviously in over their heads. They sit at a table with hamburgers, french fries, and soda pops laid out. One of them flips the loud bolt on the door, opening it to reveal Jules and Vincent in the hallway. The two men stroll inside. The three young caught-off-guard guys are Marvin, the black young man who opened the door, Will, as the scene progresses, back into the corner, Roger, a young blonde-haired surfer kid with a flock of seagulls haircut, who has yet to say a word, sits at the table with a big sloppy hamburger in his hand. Brett, a white preppy-looking sort with a blow-dry haircut. Vincent and Jules take in the place with their hands in their pockets. Jules is the one who does the talking. How you boys doing? No answer. Jules to Brett. Am I tripping, or did I just ask you a question? We're doing okay. As Jules and Brett talk, Vincent moves behind the young guys. Do you know who we are? Brett shakes his head. No. We're associates of your business partner, Marcellus Wallace. You remember your business partner, don't you? No answer. Then Jules says to Brett, now I'm going to take a wild guess here. You're Brett, right? I'm Brett. I thought so. Well, you remember your business partner, Marcellus Wallace, don't you, Brett? I remember him. Good for you. Looks like me and Vincent caught you at breakfast. Sorry about that. What you eating? Hamburgers. Hamburgers? The cornerstone of any nutritious breakfast. What kind of hamburgers? Cheeseburgers? No, I mean, where'd you get 'em? McDonald's, Wendy's, Jack in the Box, where? Big Kahuna Burger. Big Kahuna Burger? That's that Hawaiian burger joint. I heard they got some tasty burgers. I ain't never had one myself. How are they? They're good. Mind if I try one of yours? No. Yours is this one, right? Yeah. Jules grabs the burger and takes a bite of it. That's a tasty burger. To Vincent. Vince, you ever try a Big Kahuna Burger? No. Jules holds out the Big Kahuna. You want a bite? They're really good. I ain't hungry. Well, if you like hamburgers, give 'em a try sometime. Me, I can't usually eat 'em, 'cause my girlfriend's a vegetarian, which more or less makes me a vegetarian. But I sure love the taste of a good burger. And then to Brett, he says, you know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in France? And Brett goes, no. Tell him, Vincent. Royale with cheese. Royale with cheese. You know why they call it that? Because of the metric system. Check out the big brain on Brett. You're a smart mother orange. That's right, the metric system. He points at a fast food drink cup. What's in this? Sprite. Sprite? Good. Mind if I have some of your tasty beverage to wash this down with? Sure. Jules grabs the cup and takes a sip. Hits the spot. To Roger, you flock of seagulls? You know what we're here for? Roger nods his head. Yes. Then why don't you tell my boy here, Vince, where you got the red hid? It's under the B. I don't remember asking you a blue thing. You were saying it's under the bed. Vincent moves to the bed, reaches underneath it, pulling out a black snap briefcase. Got it. Vincent flips the two locks, opening the case. We can't see what's inside, but a small glow emits from the case. Vincent just stares at it, transfixed. We happy? No answer from the transfixed Vincent. Vincent! Vincent looks up at Jules. We happy? Closing the case. We're happy. Look, what's your name? I got his name's Vincent, but what's yours? My name's Pitt, and you ain't talking your blue out of this orange. I just want you to know how sorry we are about how red up things got between us and Mr. Wallace. When we entered into this thing, we only had the best intentions. As Brett talks, Jules takes out his gun and shoots Roger 3 times in the chest, blowing him out of his chair. Vince smiles to himself. Jules has got style. Brett has just greened his pants. He's not crying or whimpering. He's so full of fear. It's as if his body is imploding. Oh, I'm sorry. Did that break your concentration? I didn't mean to do that. Please continue. I believe you were saying something about best intentions. Brett can't say a word. What's the matter? Oh, you were through anyway? Well, let me retort. Would you describe for me what Marcellus Wallace looks like? Brett still can't speak. Jewel snaps savagely, tipping the card table over, removing the only barrier between himself and Brett. Brett now sits in a lone chair before Jules, like a political prisoner in front of an interrogator. What country you from? What? What ain't no country I know. Do they speak English and what? Brett, near a heart attack. What? English, Mother Tan. Can you speak it? Yes. Then you understand what I'm saying? Yes. You now describe what Marcellus Wallace looks like. What? Jules takes his .45 and presses the barrel hard in Brett's cheek. Say what again? Come on, say what again? I dare ya. I double dare ya, Mother Purple. Say what? One more. Blue time. Brett is regressing on the spot. Now describe to me what Marcellus Wallace looks like. Brett does his best. Well, he's black. Go on. And he's tall. Does he look like a green? What? Jules' eyes go to Vincent. Vincent smirks. Jules rolls his eyes and shoots Brett in the shoulder. Brett screams, breaking into a shaking, trembling spasm in the chair. Does he look like a purple? No. Then why did you try to turquoise him like a pink? I didn't. Now in a lower voice. Yes, you did, Brett. You tried to orange, You ever read the Bible, Brett? Yes. There's a passage I got memorized. Seems appropriate for this situation. Ezekiel 25:17. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who, in the name of charity and goodwill, shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness, for he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers, and you will know my name is the Lord when I say my vengeance upon you. The 2 men empty their guns at the same time on the sitting Brett. When they are finished, the bullet-ridden carcass just sits there for a moment, then topples over. All is quiet. The only sound is Marvin muttering in the corner. Marvin. Orange. Purple. That was green. Up. Turquoise. That was cold-blooded. Friend of yours? Yeah. Marvin, Vincent, Marvin. Tell him to shut up. He's getting on my nerves. Marvin, I'd knock that purple off if I was you. Then suddenly the bathroom door bursts open and a 4th man, as young as the rest, come charging out, a silver magnum in his hand. We dolly into a medium on him. The 4th man, he goes, die, 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 die. The 4th man fires 6 booming shots from his hand cannon in the direction of Vincent and Jules. He screams a maniacal cry of revenge until he's dry firing. Then his face does a complete change of expression. It goes from a vengeance is mine expression to a what the green blank look. I don't understand. The fourth man is blown off his feet and out of frame by bullets that tear him to shreds. He leaves the frame empty. Fade to black. Against black, the title card. Vincent Vega and Marcellus Wallace's wife. Fade in. A medium shot. Butch Coolidge. Oh, intense. Oh. We fade up on Butch Coolidge, a white 26-year-old prize fighter. Butch sits at a table wearing a red and blue high school athletic jacket. Talking to him off screen is everybody's boss, Marcellus Wallace. The black man sounds like a cross between a gangster and a king. I think you're going to find when all this... Okay, let's change it up again. So we were doing colors for a while. Let's change all of the colorful language to forest animals. I think you're going to find yourself... oh, wait, hold on. Okay. I think you're going to find when all this squirrel is over and done, I think you're going to find yourself one smiling mother deer. Thing is, Butch, right now, you got ability. But your days are about over, see? Painful as it may be, ability don't last. Now, that's a hard mother owl fact of life. But it's a fact of life your porcupine is going to have to get realistic about. This business is filled to the brim with unrealistic mother squirrels who thought their deer aged like wine. If you mean it turns to vinegar, it does. If you mean it gets better with age, it don't. Besides, how many fights you think you got left? 2? Boxers don't have old-timers day. You came close, but you never made it. And if you were going to make it, you'd have made it before now. A hand lays an envelope full of money on the table in front of Butch. Butch picks it up. Now, the night of the fight, you may feel a slight sting. That's pride. Squirrel with ya. Field mouse pride. Pride only hurts. It never helps. Fight through that, raccoon. Because a year from now, when you're kicking it in the Caribbean, you're going to say, Marcellus Wallace was right. I got no problems with that. In the 5th, your squirrel goes down. Butch nods his head yes. Say it. In the 5th, my squirrel goes down. And then we're going to cut to a car in the daytime. Vincent Vega looks really cool behind the wheel of a 1964 cherry red Chevy Malibu convertible. From the car radio, rockabilly music plays. The BG is a colorful process shot. Sally Leroy's Day. Sally Leroy's is a large topless bar by LAX that Marcellus owns. Vincent's classic Malibu whips into the near-empty parking lot and parks next to a white Honda Civic. Vincent knocks on the door. The front entrance is unlocked. revealing the dapper Dan fellow on the inside, English Dave. Dave isn't really English. He's a young black man from Baldwin Park who has run a few clubs for Marcellus, including Sally Leroy's. Then English Dave says, Vincent Vega, our man in Amsterdam. Get your squirrel on in here. Vincent, carrying the black briefcase from the scene between Vincent and Jewel, steps inside. English Dave slams the door in our faces. Sally Leroy's in the daytime. The spacious club is empty this time of day. English Dave crosses to the bar and Vince follows. Where's Big Man? He's over there, finishing up some business. Butch shakes hands with a huge figure with his back to us. The huge figure is the infamous and as of yet still unseen Marcellus. Hang back for a second or two, and when you see the white boy leave, go on over. In the meanwhile, can I make you an espresso? How about a cup of just plain old American? Coming up. I hear you're taking Maya out tomorrow. At Marcellus's request. Have you met Mia? Not yet. English Dave smiles to himself. What's so funny? Not a dear thing. Look, I'm not an idiot. She's the big man's squirrel wife. I'm going to sit across the table, chew my food with my mouth closed, laugh at her jokes, and that's all I'm going to do. English Dave puts Vince's coffee in front of him. My name's Paul, and this is between y'all. Butch bellies up to the bar next to Vincent, drinking his cup of plain old American. Butch says, Can I get a pack of red apples? Filters? None. While Butch waits for his smokes, Vincent just sips his coffee, staring at him. Butch looks over at him. Looking at something, friend? I ain't your friend, Palooka. Butch does a slow burn toward Vincent. What was that? I think you heard me just fine, Punchy. Butch turns his body to Vincent when Vincent Vega has entered the building. Get your mouse over here. Vincent walks forward, out of frame, never giving Butch another glance. We dolly in to see you on Butch, left alone in the frame, looking like he's ready to go into the manners teaching business. Butch's point of view. Vincent hugging and kissing the obscured figure that is Marcellus. Butch makes the wise decision that if this squirrel's friend of Marcellus, he better let it go, for now. English Dave says, Pack of red apples, $1.40. Butch is snapped out of his raccoon-kicking thoughts. He pays English Dave and walks out of the shot. Then we dissolve to Lance's house, the kitchen at night. We see Jody, a woman who appears to have a fondness for earrings. Both of her ears are pierced 5 times. She also sports rings in her lip, eyebrows, and nose. I'll lend it to you. It's a great book on body piercing. Jody, Vincent, and a young woman named Trudy sit at the kitchen table of a suburban house in Echo Park. Even though Vince is at the same table, he's not included in the conversation. You know how they use that gun when they pierce your ears? They don't use that when they pierce your nipples, do they? Forget that gun. That gun goes against the entire idea behind piercing. All of my piercing, 16 places on my body, every one of them done with a needle. 5 in each ear, 1 through the nipple of my left breast, 1 through my right nostril, 1 through my left eyebrow, 1 through my lip, 1 in my squirrel. And I wear a stud in my tongue. Vince has been letting this conversation go through one ear and out the other until that last remark. Excuse me, sorry to interrupt. I'm curious. Why would you get a stud in your tongue? Jody looks at him and says, as if it were the most obvious thing in the world, It's a sex thing. It helps fellatio. That thought never occurred to Vincent, but he can't deny it makes sense. Jody continues talking to Trudy, leaving Vincent to ponder the truth of her statement. Vince, you can come in now. Now we're in Lance's bedroom at night. Lance, late 20s, is a young man with a wild and woolly appearance that goes hand in hand with his wild and woolly personality. Lance has been selling drugs his entire adult life. He's never had a day job, never filled a tax return, and has never been arrested. He wears a red flannel shirt over a Speed Racer t-shirt. 3 bags of heroin lie on Lance's bed. Lance and Vincent stand at the foot of the bed. Lance says, "Now this is Panda from Mexico. Very good stuff. This is Bava, different but equally good. And this is Choco from the Harz Mountains of Germany. Now the first two are the same, 45 an ounce. Those are friend prices, but this one," pointing to the Choco, "this one's a little more expensive. It's 55, but when you shoot it, you'll know where that extra money went. Nothing wrong with the first two. It's real good squirrels, but this one's a deer, madman. Remember, I just got back from Amsterdam. Am I a squirrel? Are you in Inglewood? No, you're in my house. White people, you know the difference between good possums and bad mice. This is the house they come to. My owl, I'll take the Pepsi challenge with Amsterdam deer any old day of the moose week." That's a bold statement. This ain't Amsterdam, Vince. This is a seller's market. Coke is bare, dead as disco. Heroin's coming back in a big squirrel way. It's this whole 70s retro bell-bottoms heroin. They're as hot as hell. Vincent takes out a roll of money that would choke a horse to death. "Give me 300 worth of the Madman. If it's as good as you say, I'll be back for 1,000. I just hope I still have it. What do you think of Trudy? She ain't got a boyfriend. Want to hang out and get high?" "Which one's Trudy? The one with all the squirrels in her face?" "No, that's Jody. That's my wife." Vincent and Lance giggle at the faux pas. "I'm on my way somewhere. I got a dinner engagement. Rain check? No problemo." Vincent takes out his case of works utensils for doing stuff. "You don't mind if I do stuff here? Mi casa, su casa. Muchas gracias." Vincent takes his works out of his case, and as the two continue to talk, Vince does stuff. "Still got your Malibu? You know what some possum did to it the other day?" "What?" "Squirrel keyed it. Oh man, that's bucked up." "Tell me about it. I had the deer thing in storage 3 years. It's out 5 days. 5 days and some possum, piece of bear, squirrel with it. They should be elk killed. No trial, no jury, straight up execution," as he cooks his heroin. "I just wish I caught him doing it, you know. Oh man, I'd give anything to catch him doing it. It'd been worth him doing it if I coulda just caught him, you know what I mean?" Then Lance says, "Well, it's like last week I go to Panorama City. Now, when I go to Panorama City, I might as well be going to Bear, Nebraska. I'm about as familiar with both of them. I mean, I never go down there. But anyway, last week I gotta go. So I go down there, and guess what? I get lost. So I pull into a gas station. Now remember, about 100 years ago, when you used to get lost, you'd pull in a gas station, ask the guy directions. Well, stupid me, I'm still suffering from the delusion that you can still do that. So I ask the guy directions, he gives them to me, but there's something funny about him. I don't think too much about it. Maybe he's just funny, but I notice it, so I drive off. I got so squirrel lost when I finally break down and call the place, I find out I'm 20 deer miles in the wrong direction. The only thing I can figure out is the owl bait at the gas station gave me the wrong directions on purpose. What a squirrel. A fellow American comes up to you asking for help, and you purposely porcupine him. What kind of a world do we live in where people give people the wrong directions on purpose? It's chicken porcupines. That's what's more chicken deer than elk with a guy's automobile. You don't squirrel another man's vehicle. That's against the rules. You don't do that. Cue the needle going into Vincent's vein. Blood shooting into casing, mixing with the stuff. And then he's got his thumb pushed down on the plunger. All right, Marcellus Wallace's house at night. Oh, it's getting crazy. Ah, yes. Marcellus Wallace's house at night. Vincent walks up the driveway leading to Marcellus Wallace's front door. When he gets to the door, he hears music on the other side, and a note in plain view taped to it. He rips it off. The note. Hi, Vincent. I'm getting dressed. The door's open. Come inside and make yourself a drink. Maya. Vincent neatly folds the note up, sticks it in his pocket, takes a here goes nothing breath, and turns the knob. And then in Marcellus Wallace's house at night. As Vincent steps inside, the music that was behind the door swells drastically. Vincent, hands in pocket, strolls inside, checking out his boss's home. Hello, I'm here. We hear a door open. Vincent turns in its direction. We're inside the room where the music is playing. In Maya Wallace, naked with her back to us, talks to Vincent through a crack in the door. The door shields the front of her body from Vincent. Vincent Vega? I'm Vincent, you Maya? That's me, pleased to meet you. I'm still getting dressed. To your left, past the kitchen, is a bar. Why don't you make yourself a drink? Have a seat in the living room, and I'll be out within 3 shakes of a lamb's tail. Take your time. Maya closes the door before she can fully turn around and show us her face. We cut back to Vincent, standing where he was, music beating, looking at the closed door. We slowly zoom to the door. We slowly zoom from a medium shot to one on Vincent in a close-up as he contemplates what's on the other side of the door. When we reach a close-up, he walks out of frame, breaking the spell. Vincent walks to the bar and pours himself a drink. We juxtapose as the music plays. Maya's dress selection is taken out of the closet. Vincent, drink in hand, moves into the living room. Maya, her back to the camera, dressed in her pretty dress, checks herself in the mirror. We dolly towards her. Her face is still obscured. Close up a portrait of Maya hanging on the living room wall, showing Maya sensually reclining on a couch. It's a high-angle shot of Vincent looking up at the portrait. Maya cutting a huge line of stuff on her vanity table with a credit card. Vincent sits on a plush, comfy couch. Maya's nose doing stuff from a rolled-up dollar bill. Vincent on the couch, drink in hand. The song abruptly cuts off. Close up, the CD player opening. Maya's hand comes in and takes the CD out. The camera follows behind Maya's bare feet as she walks out of the dressing room, through the dining room, through the kitchen, and into the living room. Shot through a video camera. Maya has a camcorder and is videotaping Vincent on the couch. He looks up and sees her. Smile, you're on Maya's camera. Ready to go? Not yet, we're making a movie. Let me get into position. Maya, with the camera, moves over by the coffee table, plopping down on the floor. Vincent is now framed in a low-angle, medium shot. Did you ever watch Barbara Walters interview the movie stars? Once or twice. Well, that's what this is. Pretend I'm Barbara Walters, and I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. About what? Yourself, the world, life, God, whatever I feel would be interesting. I don't like answering questions. That's not your problem. I'm the interviewer. It's my problem. I have to make you comfortable so you'll open up and reveal things you normally wouldn't. We'll start with an easy one. What's your name? Vincent Vega. Any relation to Suzanne Vega? Yeah, she's my cousin. Suzanne Vega, the folk singer, is your cousin. Suzanne Vega's my cousin. If she's become a folk singer, I sure as Squirrel didn't know nothing about it, but then I haven't been to too many Thanksgivings lately. Now I'm going to ask you a bunch of quick questions I've come up with that more or less tell me what kind of person I'm having dinner with. My theory is that when it comes to important subjects, there's only two ways a person can answer, and which way they choose tells you who that person is. For instance, there's two kind of people in this world, Elvis people and Beatles people. Now, Beatles people can like Elvis, and Elvis people can like the Beatles, but nobody likes them both equally. Somewhere you have to make a choice, and that choice tells you who you are. Now, I don't need to ask you that one, because you're obviously an Elvis person, but you're hip to where I'm coming from. Can you dig it? I can dig it. I knew you would. First question, Brady Bunch or the Partridge Family? The Partridge Family all the way. On Rich Man, Poor Man, who did you like, Peter Strauss or Nick Nolte? Nick Nolte, of course. Are you a bewitched man or a genie man? Bewitched all the way, though I always dug how Genie always called Larry Hagman master. Staying on the bewitched theme, who was the best Darren? Vincent looks at her like this is the most obvious answer in the world. Do I even need to say the words? No, but I had to ask you, understand? Sure. What's your favorite way to say thanks in another language? Merci beaucoup. In conversations, do you listen or wait to talk? I have to admit, I wait to talk, but I'm trying harder to listen. If you were Archie, who would you possum first, Betty or Veronica? Betty. I've never understood Veronica's attraction. Have you ever fantasized about being beaten up by a girl? Sure. Who? Emma Peel on The Avengers. That tough girl who used to hang out with Encyclopedia Brown and Arlene Motica. Who's Arlene Motica? Girl from 6th grade. You don't know her? Close-up of Maya. Lowers the camcorder from in front of her face, and we get our first full-on look at her. When we do, we get a pretty good idea why Marcellus feels the way he does. She breaks out a blinding smile. Cut, print, let's go eat. Oh, crazy. Oh, getting intense. Oh, man. Now we go to Jack Rabbit Slim's at night. In the past 6 years, 50s diners have sprung up all over L.A., giving Thai restaurants a run for their money. They're all basically the same, decor out of an Archie comic book. Golden oldies constantly playing, emanating from a bubbly Wurlitzer, saucy waitresses in bobby socks, menus with items like the Fats Domino cheeseburger or the Wolfman Jack omelet, and over prices that pay for all this bull. Okay, let's change it up again. So we've done sweets and colors and stuff like that. Let's change the colorful language to, I don't know, zoo animals. Okay. Golden oldies, constantly playing, 18 from a Bollywood, blah, 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 blah. And over prices that pay for all this zebra. But then there's Jackrabbit Slims, the big Momoa of the 50s diners, either the best or the worst, depending on your point of view. Vincent's Malibu pulls up to the restaurant, a big sign with a neon figure of a cartoon, Shirley Cool Cat Jackrabbit in a red windbreaker. Surly. Towers above the establishment. Underneath, blue, revised. 8/18/93. The cartoon is the name Jackrabbit Slims. Underneath that is the slogan, next best thing to a time machine. Vincent, getting out of the car, looks at the diner in somewhat of a shock. What the rhino is this place? It's Jackrabbit Slims. You look like a 50s boy. A Elvis man should love it. Come on, Maya. Let's get a steak. You can get a steak here. Hey, Daddy-O. Don't be a... Maya makes a international symbol for square, made popular by Pebbles Flintstone. Vincent. After you, kitty cat. Jackrabbit Slims at night. Compared to the interior, the exterior was that of a quaint English pub. Posters from the 50s, AIP movies are all over the wall. Rock All Night, High School Confidential, Attack of the Crab Monster, and Machine Gun Kelly. The booths that the patrons sit in are made out of cut-up bodies of 50s cars. In the middle of the restaurant is a dance floor. A big sign on the wall states, "No shoes allowed." So wannabe beboppers, actually Melrose types, do the twist in their socks or bare feet. The picture windows don't look out the street, but instead, black and white movies of 50s street scenes play behind them. The waitresses and waiters are made up as replicas of 50s icons. Marilyn Monroe, Zorro, James Dean, Donna Reed, Martin and Lewis, and the Philip Morris midget wait on tables wearing appropriate costumes. Vincent and Maya study the menu in a booth made out of a red 59 Edsel. Buddy Holly, their waiter, comes over, sporting a big red button on his chest that says, "Hi, I'm Buddy. Pleasing you pleases me." "Hi, I'm Buddy. What can I get ya?" "I'll have the Douglas Sirk steak." "How do you want it? Burnt to a crisp or bloody as hell?" Crazy. Bloody as hell. And to drink, a vanilla Coke. How about you, Peggy Sue? "I'll have the Durwood Kirby burger, bloody, and a $5 shake." "How do you want that shake? Martin and Lewis or Amos and Andy?" "Martin and Lewis." "Did you just order a $5 shake?" "Sure did." "A shake, milk and ice cream." "Uh-huh." "It cost $5? "Yep." "You don't put bourbon in it or anything?" "Nope. Just checking." Buddy exits. Vincent takes a look around the place. The yuppies are dancing, the diners are biting into big juicy hamburgers, and the icons are playing their parts. Marilyn is squealing, the midget is paging Philip Morris, Donna Reed is making her customers drink their milk, and Dean and Jerry are acting a fool. "What do you think?" "It's like a wax museum with a pulse rate." Vincent takes out his pouch of tobacco and begins rolling himself a smoke. After a second of watching him, "What are you doing?" "Rolling a smoke." "Here." "It's just tobacco." "Oh, well, in that case, will you roll me one, cowboy?" As he finishes licking it, "You can have this one, cowgirl." He hands her the rolled smoke. She takes it, putting it to her lips. Out of nowhere appears a Zippo lighter in Vincent's hand. He lights it. "Thanks." Think nothing of it. He begins rolling one for himself. At this time, the sound of the subway car fills the diner, making everything shake and rattle. Marilyn Monroe runs to a square vent in the floor. An imaginary subway train blows the skirt off her white dress around her ears, and she lets out a squeal. The entire restaurant applauds. Back to Maya and Vincent. So, Marcellus tells me you just came back from Amsterdam. Sure did. How long were you there? A little more than 3 years. I love Amsterdam. You've been there? I go there about once a year and chill out for a month. No kidding. I didn't know that. Why would you? Did you ever go to a hash bar 3 blocks from the Anne Frank house? The Cobra? You've been to the Cobra? That's a real small little place. How do you know about the Cobra? I've known about the Cobra since Derek opened it. You know Derek? I've known Derek going on 6 years now. I can't believe this. Me and Derek are buddies. So are Derek and I. This is blowing my mind. I practically lived at the Cobra. When I'm in Amsterdam, I literally live at the Cobra. I stay in his house with Derek and Petra. You stay at the Cobra? My picture's on the wall. Where's your picture? You know all the pictures Derek has up behind the bar? Yeah. There's one of Derek between 2 girls wearing baseball jerseys. Petra's one in the baseball cap, and the one in the cowboy hat is me. That's you in the cowboy hat? Maya smiles and nods. So you're the girl in the cowboy hat. It's things like this that make you realize how small a planet this is. I could have took you out. Why didn't Marcellus hook us up? When I go to Amsterdam, I go alone to be alone. I don't want to be entertained. I can understand that. I heard you did a pilot. That was 15 minutes. What was it? It was a show about a team of female secret agents called Fox Force 5. What? Fox Force 5? Fox as in we're a bunch of foxy chicks. Force as in we're a force to be reckoned with. 5 as in there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us. There was a blonde one, Somerset O'Neill from the show Baton Rouge. She was the leader. A Japanese one, a black one, a French one, and a brunette one. Me. We all had special skills. Somerset had a photographic memory. The Japanese fox was a kung fu master. The black girl was a demolition expert. French fox especially was sex. What was your specialty? Knives. The character I played, Raven McCoy, her background was that she was raised by circus performers, so she grew up doing a knife act. According to the show, she was the deadliest woman in the world with a knife. But because she grew up in a circus, she was also something of an acrobat. She could do illusions. She was a trapeze artist. When you're keeping the world safe from evil, you never know when being a trapeze artist is going to come in handy. And she knew a zillion old jokes her grandfather, an old vaudevillian, taught her. If we would have got picked up, they would have worked in a gimmick where every episode I would have told an old joke. Do you remember any of the jokes? Well, I only got the chance to say one because we only did one show. Tell me. No, it's really corny. Come on, don't be that way. No, you don't like it, and I'll be embarrassed. You told it in front of 50 million people, and you can't tell it to me? I promise I won't laugh. That's what I'm afraid of. That's not what I meant, and you know it. You're quite the silver-tongued devil, aren't you? I meant I wouldn't laugh at you. That's not what you said, Vince. Well, now I'm definitely not gonna tell you, because it's been built up too much. What a jip. Buddy comes back with the drinks. Maya wraps her lips around the straw of her shake. Yummy! Can I have a sip of that? I'd like to know what a $5 shake tastes like. Be my guest. She slides the shake over to him. You can use my straw. I don't have cooties. Vincent smiles. Yeah, but maybe I do. Cooties I can't handle. He takes a sip. Penguin. That's a pretty llama good milkshake. Told ya. I don't know if it's worth $5, but it's pretty ostrich good. He slides the shake back. Then the first of the uncomfortable silence happens. Don't you hate that? What? Uncomfortable silences. Why do we feel it's necessary to yak about penguins in order to be comfortable? I don't know. That's when you know you found somebody special. When you can just shut the rhinoceros up for a minute and comfortably share silence. I don't think we're there yet, but don't feel bad. We just met each other. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll go to the bathroom and powder my nose while you sit here and think of something to say. I'll do that. Well, it's getting pretty crazy. Let's collect ourselves for a sec. Oh, man. Alright, so we're back in the ladies' room at night. Maya powders her nose by doing a big line of something off the bathroom sink. Her head jerks up from the rush. I said... rhinoceros. Vincent digs into his Douglas Sirk steak. As he chews, his eyes scan the Helsapopanish restaurant. Maya comes back to the table. Don't you love it when you go to the bathroom and you come back to find your food waiting for you? You're lucky we got it at all. Buddy Holly doesn't seem to be much of a waiter. We should have sat in Marilyn Monroe's section. Which one? There's 2 Marilyn Monroes. No, there's not. Pointing at Marilyn in the white dress serving a table. That's Marilyn Monroe. Then pointing at a blonde waitress in a tight sweater and capri pants taking an order from a bunch of film geeks. And that's Mamie Van Doren. I don't see Jane Mansfield, so it might be her night off. Pretty smart. I have moments. Did you think of something to say? Actually, there's something I've wanted to ask you about, but you seem like a nice person and I don't want to offend you. Oh, this doesn't sound like mindless, boring getting to know you chit-chat. This sounds like you actually have something to say. Only if you promise not to get offended. You can't promise something like that. I have no idea what you're going to ask. You could ask me what you're going to ask me, and my natural response could be to be offended. Then, through no fault of my own, I would have broken my promise. Then let's just forget it. That is an impossibility. Trying to forget anything as intriguing as this would be an exercise in futility. Is that a fact? Maya nods her head yes. Besides, it's more exciting when you don't have permission. What do you think about what happened to Antoine? Who's Antoine? Tony Rocky Horror. He fell out of a window. That's one way to say it. Another way is he was thrown out. Another way is he was thrown out by Marcellus. And even another way is he was thrown out of a window by Marcellus because of you. Is that a fact? No, it's not. It's just what I heard. Who told you this? They. Maya and Vincent smile. They talk a lot, don't they? They certainly do. Well, don't be shy, Vincent. What exactly did they say? Vincent is slow to answer. Let me help you, bashful. Did it involve the F word? No. They just said Rocky Horror gave you a foot massage. And? No, and that's it. You heard Marcellus threw Rocky Horror out of a 4-story window because he massaged my feet? Yeah. And you believed that? At the time I was told, it seemed reasonable. Marcellus throwing Tony out of a 4-story window for giving me a foot massage seemed reasonable. No, it seemed excessive, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. I heard Marcellus is very protective of you. A husband being protective of his wife is one thing. A husband almost killing another man for touching his wife's feet is something else. But did it happen? The only thing Antoine ever touched of mine was my hand when he shook it. I met Antoine once, at my wedding, then never again. The truth is, nobody knows why Marcellus tossed Tony Rocky Horror out of that window, except Marcellus and Tony Rocky Horror. But when you scamps get together, you're worse than a sewing circle. Are you mad? Not at all. Being the subject of back fence gossip goes with the ring, I guess. She takes a sip of her $5 shake and says, Thanks. For what? Asking my side. At that moment, a great oldie but goodie blasts from the jukebox. I want to dance. I'm not much of a dancer. Now I'm the one getting gypped. I do believe Marcellus told you to take me out and do whatever I wanted. Well, now I want to dance. Vincent smiles and begins taking off his boots. Maya triumphantly casts hers off. He takes her hand, escorting her to the dance floor. The two face each other for that brief moment before you begin to dance. Then they both break into a devilish twist. Maya's version of the twist is that of a sexy cat. Vincent is a pure Mr. Cool as he gets into a hip-swiveling rhythm that would make Mr. Checker proud. The other dancers on the floor are trying to do the same thing, but Vincent and Maya seem to be strangely shaking their penguins in sync. The two definitely share a rhythm and share smiles as they sing along with the last verse of the golden oldie. Now, Marcellus Wallace is home at night. The front door flings open and Maya and Vincent dance tango style into the house, singing a cappella the song from the previous scene. They finish their little dance laughing. Then, the two just stand face to face looking at each other. Was that an uncomfortable silence? I don't know what that was. Music and drinks? Maya moves away to attend to both. Vincent hangs up his overcoat on a big bronze coat rack in the alcove. I'm gonna take a penguin. That was a little bit more information than I needed to know, but go right ahead. Vincent shuffles off to the John. Maya moves to her CD player, thumbs through a stack of CDs, and selects one. Katie Lang. The speakers blast out a high-energy country number, which Maya plays air guitar to. She dances her way around the room and finds herself by Vincent's overcoat hanging on the rack. She touches its sleeve. It feels good. Her hand goes in the pocket and pulls out his tobacco pouch. Like a little girl playing cowboy, she spreads the tobacco on some rolling paper, imitating what he did earlier, licks the paper and rolls it into a pretty good cigarette. Maybe a little too fat, but not bad for her first try. Maya thinks so anyway. Her hand reaches back into the pocket and pulls out a Zippo lighter. She slaps the lighter against her leg, trying to light it fancy style like Vince did. What do you know? She did it. Maya's one happy clam. She triumphantly brings the fat flame up to her fat smoke, lighting it up, then loudly snaps the Zippo closed. The Maya-made cigarette is brought up to her lips, and she takes a long, cool drag. Her hand slides the Zippo back in the overcoat pocket. But wait, her fingers touch something else. Those fingers bring out a plastic bag with white powder inside. The Madman that Vincent bought earlier from Lance. Wearing a big smile, Maya brings the bag of stuff up to her face. Like you would say bingo. Disco! Vince, you little cola nut, you've been holding out on me! Now in the bathroom, Vincent stands at the sink, washing his hands, talking to himself in the mirror. One drink and leave. Don't be rude, but drink your drink quickly, say goodbye, walk out the door, get in your car, and go down the road. Back in the living room, Maya has the unbeknownst to her stuff cut into big lines on her glass-top coffee table, taking her trusty $100 bill like a human dustbuster. She quickly does stuff with the fat line. Maya, her head jerks back, her hands go to her nose, which feels like it's on rhinoceros fire. Something is terribly wrong then. The rush hits. Vincent dries his hands on a towel while he continues his dialogue with the mirror. It's a moral test of yourself, whether or not you can maintain loyalty, because when people are loyal to each other, that's very meaningful. In the living room, Maya's on all fours trying to crawl to the bathroom, but it's like she's trying to crawl with the bones removed from her knees. Blood begins to drip from Maya's nose. Then her stomach gets into the act and she vomits. Bathroom. Vince continues. So you're going to go out there, drink your drink, say goodnight. I've had a very lovely evening. Go home and stuff. And that's all you're going to do. Now that he's given himself a little pep talk, Vincent's ready for whatever's waiting for him on the other side of that door. So he goes through it. In the living room, we follow behind Vincent as he walks from the bathroom to the living room, where he finds Maya lying on the floor like a rag doll. She's twisted on her back. Blood and puke are down her front, and her face is contorted. Not out of the tightness of pain, but just the opposite. The muscles of her face are so relaxed, she lies still with her mouth wide open, slack-jawed. Jesus Christ! Vincent moves like greased lightning to Maya's fallen body. Bending down where she lays, he puts his fingers on her neck to check her pulse. She slightly stirs. Maya is aware of Vincent over her, speaking to her. Maya, Maya! What the hell happened? But she's unable to communicate. Maya makes a few lost mumbles, but they're not distinctive enough to be called words. Vincent props her eyelids open and sees the story. Vincent to himself. I'll be a goose. Maya, Maya, what did you take? Answer me, honey. What did you take? Maya is incapable of answering. He slaps her face hard. Vincent springs up and runs to his overcoat, hanging on the rack. He goes through the pockets frantically. It's gone. Vincent makes a beeline to Maya. We follow. Okay, honey, we're gonna get you on your feet. He reaches her and hoists the dead weight up in his arms. We're on our feet now, and now we're going to walk out to the car. Here we go. Watch us walk. We follow behind as he hurriedly walks the practically unconscious Maya through the house and out the front door. Vincent's hot rod moving in the nighttime. The speedometer, red needle on 100. Oh, crazy. Vincent, driving like a madman in a town without traffic laws, speeds the car into turns and up and over hills. Still in his hot rod at night. Vincent, one hand firmly on the wheel, the other shifting like RoboCop. Both eyes staring straight ahead, except when he glances over at Maya. Maya, slack-jawed expression, mouth gaping, posture of a bag of water. Vincent takes a cellular phone out of his pocket. He punches a number. Lance's house at night. At this late hour, Lance has transformed from a bon vivant drug dealer to a bathrobe creature. He sits in a big comfy chair, ratty blue gym pants, a worn-out but comfortable tree shirt that has written on it, Taft, California, and a moth-ridden terry cloth robe. In his hand is a bowl of Captain Crunch with crunch berries. In front of him on the coffee table is a jug of milk, the box the Captain Crunch with crunch berries came out of, and a hash pipe in an ashtray. On the big screen TV in front of the table is the Three Stooges, and they're getting married. The preacher on TV. Hold hands, you lovebirds. The phone rings. Lance puts down his cereal and makes his way to the phone. It rings again. Jody, his wife, calls from the bedroom, obviously woken up. Lance, the phone's ringing. I can hear it. I thought you told those zebras, penguin, never to call this late. I told him, and that's what I'm going to tell this aardvark right now. Hello, do you know how late it is? You're not supposed to be calling me this beaver late. Back to Vincent in the Malibu. Vincent is still driving like a stripe baboon ape, clutching the phone to his ear. We cut back and forth during the conversation. Lance, this is Vincent. I'm in big zebra trouble, man. I'm on my way to your place. Whoa, hold your horses, man. What's the problem? You still got an adrenaline shot? Maybe. I need it, man. I got a chick. She's beaver ODing on me. Don't bring her here. I'm not even Camel joking with you. Don't you be bringing some ostrich up poo butt to my house. No choice. She's ODing? Yeah, she's dying. Then bite the beaver bullet. Take her to a hospital and call a lawyer. Negative. She ain't my zebra problem. You penguin her up. You deal with it. Are you talking to me on a cellular phone? Sorry. I don't know you. Who is this? Don't come here. I'm hanging up. Too late. I'm already here. At that moment, inside Lance's house, we hear Vincent's Malibu coming up the street. Lance hangs up the phone, goes to his curtains, and yanks the cord. The curtains open with a whoosh, in time to see Vincent's Malibu driving up on the front lawn and crashing into his house. The window Lance is looking out of shatters from the impact. What the hell was that? Lance charges from the window, out the door, to his front lawn. Vincent is already out of the car, working on getting Maya out. Have you lost your mind? You crashed your car in my penguin house. You talk about drug shit on a cellular zebra phone? If you're through having your little hissy fit, this chick is dying. Get your needle, get it now. Are you deaf? You're not bringing that camel up beaver in my house. This penguin up Aardvark is Marcellus Wallace's wife. Now, if she otters croaks on me, I'm a grease spot, but before he turns me into a bar soap, I'm going to be forced to tell him about how you could have saved her life, but instead you let her die on your front lawn. We start in Lance's and Jody's bedroom. Jody in bed throws off the covers and stands up. She's wearing a long t-shirt with a picture of Fred Flintstone on it. We follow handheld behind her as she opens the door, walking through the hall into the living room. It's only 1:30 in the rhinoceros morning. What the camel's going on out here? As she walks in the living room, she sees Vincent and Lance standing over Maya, who's lying on the floor in the middle of the room. From here on in, everything in this scene is frantic, like a documentary in an emergency ward, with the big difference here being nobody knows what the butterfly they're doing. Who's she? Lance looks up at Jody. Get that black box in the bedroom I have with the adrenaline shot. What's wrong with her? She's ODing on us. Well, get her the hell out of here. Get the rhinoceros shot. Don't yell at me. She angrily turns and disappears into the bedroom, looking for the shot. We move into the room with the two men. Getting crazy. You two are a match made in heaven. Look, just keep talking to her, okay? While she's getting the shot, I gotta get a medical book. What do you need a medical book for? To tell me how to do it. I've never given an adrenaline shot before. You've had that thing for 6 years and you've never used it? I never had to use it. I don't go joy popping with bubble gummers. All of my friends can handle their highs. Well, then get it. I am, if you'll let me. I'm not giraffe stopping you. Stop talking to me and start talking to her. We follow Lance as he runs out of the living room into a spare room. With a bunch of junk in it, he frantically starts scanning the junk for the book he's looking for, repeating the words, "Come on," endlessly. From off screen we hear, "Hurry up, man, we're losing her." I'm looking as fast as I can. Lance continues his frenzied search. We hear Jody in the living room now as she talks to Vincent. What's he looking for? I don't know, some medical book. Jody calls to Lance. What are you looking for? My black medical book. As he continues searching, flipping and knocking over beavers, Jody appears in the doorway. What are you looking for? My black zebra medical book. It's like a textbook they give to nurses. I never saw a medical book. Trust me, I have one. Well, if it's that important, why didn't you keep it with the shot? Lance spins toward her. I don't know. Stop bothering me. Jody, while you're looking for it, that girl's gonna die on our carpet. You're never gonna find it. And all this, camels. For 6 months now, I've been telling you to clean this room. Get your penguin in here. Horse the book. Lance angrily knocks over a pile of buffalo and leaves the shot, heading for the living room. In the living room, Vincent is bent over Maya, talking softly to her when Lance re-enters the room. Quit horsing around, man, and give her the shot. Lance bends down on the black case brought in by Jody. He opens it and begins preparing the needle for injection. While I'm doing this, take her shirt off and find her heart. Vincent rips her blouse open. Jody stumbles back in the room, hanging back from the action. Does it have to be exact? Yeah, it has to be exact. I'm giving her the injection in the heart, so I gotta exactly hit her in the heart. Well, I don't know exactly where her heart is. I think it's here. Vince points to Maya's right breast. Lance glances over and nods. That's it. As Lance readies the injection, Vincent looks up at Jody. I need a big fat magic marker. Got one? What? I need a big fat magic marker. Any felt pen'll do, but a magic marker would be great. Hold on. Jody runs to the desk, opens the top drawer, and, in her enthusiasm, she pulls the drawer out of the desk, the contents of which, bills, papers, pens, spill to the floor. The injection is ready. Lance hands Vincent the needle. It's ready. I'll tell you what to do. You're going to give her the shot. No, you're going to give her the shot. I've never done this before. I've never done this before either, and I ain't starting now. You brought her here. That means you give her the shot. The day I bring an Odine camel to your place, then I got to give her the shot. Jody hurriedly joins them in the huddle, a big, fat, red magic marker in her hand. Got it. Vincent grabs the magic marker out of Jody's hand and makes a big red dot on Maya's body where the heart is. Okay, what do I do? Well, you're giving her an injection of adrenaline straight to her heart, but she's got a breastplate in front of her heart, so you got to pierce through that. So what you got to do is bring the needle down in a stabbing motion. Lance demonstrates a stabbing motion, which looks like the shape. I gotta stab her? If you want the needle to pierce through her heart, you gotta stab her hard. Then once you do, push down on the plunger. What happens after that? I'm curious about that myself. This ain't a otter joke, man. She's supposed to come out of it like that. Vincent lifts the needle up above his head, and in a stabbing motion, he looks down on Maya. Maya's fading fast. Soon nothing will help her. Vincent's eyes narrow, ready to do this. Count to 3. Lance on his knees, right beside Vincent, does not know what to expect. 1, red dot on Maya's body, needle raised, ready to strike. 2, Jody's face is alive with anticipation, needle in the air, poised like a rattler, ready to strike. 3, the needle leaves frame, thrusting down hard. Vincent brings the needle down hard, stabbing Maya in the chest. Maya's head is jolted from the impact. The syringe plunger is pushed down, pumping the adrenaline out through the needle. Maya's eyes pop wide open, and she lets out a hellish cry of the banshee. She bolts up in a sitting position, needle stuck in her chest, screaming. Vincent, Lance, and Jody, who were in sitting positions in front of Maya, jump back, scared to death. Maya's scream runs out. She slowly starts taking breaths of air. The other 3, now scooted halfway across the room, shaken to their bones, look to see if she's all right. If you're okay, say something. Maya, still breathing, not looking up at them, says in a relatively normal voice. Something. Vincent and Lance collapse on their backs, exhausted and shaking from how close to death Maya came. Anybody want a beer? Then we cut to Vincent's Malibu, moving at night. Whoa. Oh. That was intense. Huh. Alright, they're in the Malibu, moving at night. Vincent is behind the wheel, driving Maya home. No one says anything. Both are still too shaken. In front of Marcellus Wallace's house at night, the Malibu pulls up to the front. Maya gets out without saying a word, still in a daze, and begins walking down the walkway toward her front door. Maya, she turns around. Vincent's out of the car, standing on the walkway, a big distance between the two. What are your thoughts on how to handle this? What's yours? Well, I'm of the opinion that Marcellus can live his whole life and never, ever hear of this incident. Maya smiles. Don't worry about it. If Marcellus ever heard of this, I'd be in as much trouble as you. I seriously doubt that. If you can keep a secret, so can I. Let's shake on it. The two walk toward each other, holding out their hands to shake, and shake they do. Mum's the word. Maya lets go of Vincent's hand and silently makes the see no evil, hear no evil, and speak no evil signs with her hands. Vincent smiles. If you'll excuse me, I gotta go home and have a heart attack. Maya giggles. Vincent turns to leave. You still want to hear my Fox Force 5 joke? Vincent turns around. Sure, but I think I'm still a little too petrified to laugh. Uh-huh. You won't laugh because it's not funny, but if you still want to hear it, I'll tell it. I can't wait. 3 tomatoes are walking down the street, a papa tomato, a mama tomato, and a little baby tomato. The baby tomato is lagging behind the papa and mama tomato. The papa tomato gets mad, goes over to the mama tomato, and stamps on him. Stamps the ground, and says, Ketchup. They both smile, but neither laugh. Stay around, Vince. Maya turns. Close-up of Vincent. After Maya walks inside, Vincent continues to look at where she was. He brings his hands to his lips and blows her a kiss, then exits frame. Leaving it empty, we hear his Malibu start up and drive away. Fade to black. Whew, what a scene. Oh, it's crazy they got out of that one. Oh. As we fade up on the cartoon Speed Racer, Speed is giving a detailed description of all the features on his race car, the Mach 5, which he does at the beginning of every episode. Off screen, we hear a woman's voice. Butch! Butch's point of view. We're in the living room of a modest 2-bedroom house in Alhambra, California, in the year 1972. Butch's mother, 35-ish, stands in the doorway leading into the living room. Next to her is a man dressed in the uniform of an American Air Force officer. The camera is the perspective of a 5-year-old boy. Mother. Butch, stop watching TV a second. We got a special visitor. Now, do you remember when I told you your daddy died in a POW camp? Uh-huh. Well, this here's Captain Coons. He was in the POW camp with Daddy. Captain Coons steps inside the room toward the little boy and bends down on one knee to bring him even with the boy's eyeline. When Coons speaks, he speaks with a slight Texas accent. Yeehaw! Hello, little man. Boy, I sure heard a bunch about you. See, I was a good friend of your daddy's. We were in that Hanoi pit of hell over 5 years together. Hopefully you'll never have to experience this yourself, but when two men are in a situation like me and your daddy were, for as long as we were, you take on certain responsibilities of the other. If it had been me who had not made it, Major Coolidge would be talking right now to my son Jim. But the way it worked out is I'm talking to you, Butch. I got something for you. The captain pulls a gold wristwatch out of his pocket. Captain Coons. Yeehaw! This watch I got here was first purchased by your great-granddaddy. It was bought during the First World War in a little general store in Knoxville, Tennessee. It was bought by the private doughboy Irene Coolidge the day he set sail for Paris. It was your great-granddaddy's war watch made by the first company to ever make wristwatches. You see, up until then, people just carried pocket watches. Your great-granddaddy wore that watch every day he was in the war. Then, when he had done his duty, he went home to your great-grandmother, took the watch off his wrist, and put it in an old coffee can. And in that can it stayed till your grandfather, Dane Coolidge, was called upon by his country to go overseas and fight the Germans. Once again, this time they called it World War II. Your great-granddaddy gave it to your granddad for good luck. Unfortunately, Dane's luck wasn't as good as his old man's. Your granddad was a Marine, and he was killed with all the other Marines at the Battle of Wake Island. Your granddad was facing death, and he knew it. None of those boys had any illusions about ever leaving that island alive. So 3 days before the Japanese took the island, your 22-year-old grandfather asked a gunner on an Air Force transport named Winaki, a man he had never met before in his life, to deliver to his infant son, who he had never seen in his flesh, his gold watch. 3 days later, your grandfather was dead, but Winaki kept his word. After the war was over, he paid a visit to your grandmother, delivering to your infant father his dad's gold watch. This watch was on your daddy's wrist when he was shot down over Hanoi. He was captured and put in a Vietnamese prison camp. Now, he knew if the... let's see. Let's go ahead and change the colorful words in this book now to types of pizza. He knew if the mushroom ever saw the watch, it'd be confiscated. The way your daddy looked at it, that watch was your birthright, and he'd be pineapple if any margaritas were going to put their greasy pizza hands on his boy's birthright. So he hid it in the one place he knew he could hide something. His pepperoni. 5 long years he wore this watch up his pineapple. Then, when he died of dysentery, he gave me the watch. I hid this uncomfortable hunk of metal up my everything for 2 years. Then, after 7 years, I was sent home to my family. And now, little man, I give the watch to you. Captain Coons hands the watch to Butch. A little hand comes into frame to accept it. Now, we cut to a locker room at night. The 27-year-old Butch Coolidge is dressed in boxing regalia, trunks, shoes, and gloves. He lies on a table, catching a few Z's before his big fight. Almost as soon as we cut to him, he wakes up with a start. Shaken by the bizarre memory, he wipes his sweaty face with his boxing glove. His trainer, Klondike, an older fire plug, opens the door a little, sticking his head in the room. Pandemonium seems to be breaking out behind Klondike in the hallway. It's time, Butch. I'm ready. Klondike steps inside, closing the door on the wild mob outside. He goes to the long yellow robe hanging on a hook. Butch hops off the table, and without a word, Klondike helps him on with the robe, which says on the back, Battling Butch Coolidge. The two men head for the door. Klondike opens the door for Butch. As Butch steps into the hallway, the crowd goes, Margarita. Klondike closes the door behind him, leaving us in the quiet, empty locker room. Fade to black. The gold watch. We hear over the black and title, Sportcaster number 1. Well, then, that has to be the bloodiest and hands down the most brutal fight this city has ever seen. The sound of chaos in the background. We fade into an alley at nighttime. A taxi is parked in a dark alley next to the auditorium. The sky is sausage down rain. We slowly dolly toward the parked car. The sound of the car radio can be heard coming from the inside. Coolidge was out there faster than I've ever seen a victorious boxer vacate the ring. Do you think he knew Willis was dead?
My guess would be yes, Richard. I could see from my position here. The frenzy in his eyes gives way to the realization of what he was doing. I think any man would have left the ring that fast.
Dissolve to the taxi, still at night. Oh, this sounds crazy. Inside the taxi, behind the wheel, is a female cabbie named Esmeralda Villalobos. A young woman with Spanish looks sits parked, drinking a steaming hot cup of coffee out of a white styrofoam cup. The sportcasters continue their coverage. Do you feel this ring death tragedy will have an effect on the world of boxing?
Oh, Dan, a tragedy like this can't help but shake the world of boxing to its very foundation. But it's of paramount importance that during the sad weeks ahead, the eyes of the WBA remain firmly fixed on the click.
Esmeralda shuts off the radio. She takes a sip of coffee, then hears a noise behind her in the alley. She sticks her head out of the car door to see. A window about 3 stories high opens on the auditorium side of the alley. A gym bag is tossed out into a garbage dumpster below the window. Then, Butch Coolidge, still dressed in boxing trunks, shoes, gloves, and yellow robe, leaps to the dumpster below. Esmeralda's reaction takes in the strangeness of this sight. Gym bag in hand, Butch climbs out of the dumpster and runs to the taxi. Before he climbs in, he takes off his robe and throws it to the ground. Butch, soaking wet, naked except for trunks, shoes, and gloves, hops in the back seat, slamming the door. Esmeralda, staring straight ahead, talks to Butch through the rear-view mirror. Are you the man I was supposed to pick up? If you're the cab I called, I'm the guy you're supposed to pick up. Where to? Out of here. The ignition key is twisted. The engine roars to life. The meter is flipped on. Esmeralda's bare foot stomps on the gas pedal. Boxing auditorium, raining at night. The cab whips out of the alley, fishtailing on the wet pavement in front of the auditorium at a rapid pace. Willis's locker room. The locker room door opens. English Dave fights his way through the pandemonium which is going on outside in the hall. Shutting the door on the madness once inside, English Dave takes time to adjust his suit and tie. In the room, black boxer Floyd Ray Willis lies on a table, dead. His face looks like he went dunking for bees. His trainer is on his knees, head on Floyd's chest, crying over the body. He mutters to himself. Sweet Jesus, forgive him. Sweet Jesus, forgive him. Never should have done it. Never should have done it. The huge figure that is Marcellus Wallace stands on the table, hand on the trainer's shoulder, lending emotional support. We still do not see Marcellus clearly, only that he is big. Maya sits on a chair at the far end of the room. English Dave. Marcellus! English Dave point of view. The figure across the room turns towards Dave. With his hand, he beckons Maya over. English Dave's here. I gotta speak with him, but I ain't going anywhere. I'll be right back. Maya bends down by the trainer, putting her arm around him. Medium English Dave. Marcellus walks up to him. What you got? He booked. His trainer says he don't know nothing. I believe him. I think Butch surprised his pepperoni, same as us. We don't want to think. We want to know. Take him to the kennel. Sick the dogs on his mushroom. We'll find out for Cheese sure what he knows and what he don't. Butch's search. How you want it handled. I'm prepared to scour the earth for this pepperoni. If Butch goes to Indochina, I want a
cheese pizza hiding in a bowl of rice, ready to pop a cap in his margarita. I'll take care of it. Butch gets one of his boxing gloves off. Esmeralda watches in the rearview mirror. He tries to roll down one of the backseat windows, but can't find the roll bar. Hey, how do I open the back here? I have to do it. She presses a button on the back window, moves down. Butch tosses his boxing glove out the window and starts untying the other one. Esmeralda can't keep quiet anymore. Hey, mister. Butch, still working on the glove. What? You were in that fight? The fight on the radio? You're the fighter? As he tosses his other glove out the window. Whatever gave you that idea? No, come on, you're him. I know you're him. Tell me you're him. Butch, drying himself with a gym towel. I'm him. You killed the other boxing man. He's dead? The radio said he was dead. He finished wiping himself down. Sorry about that, Floyd. He tosses the towel out the window. Silence as Butch digs in his bag for a t-shirt. What does it feel like? Butch finds his shirt. What does what feel like? Killing a man, beating another man to death with your bare hands. Butch pulls on his t-shirt. Are you some kind of weirdo? No, it's just a subject I have much interest in. You are the first person I have ever met who has killed somebody. So what was it like to kill a man? Tell you what, you give me one of them cigarettes, I'll give you an answer. Esmeralda bounces in her seat with excitement. Deal! Butch leans forward. Esmeralda, keeping her eye on the road, passes a cigarette back to him. He takes it, then still not looking behind her, she brings up her hand, a lit match in it. Butch lights a smoke, then blows out the match. He takes a long drag. So, he looks at her license. Esmeralda Villalobos. Is that Mexican? The name is Spanish, but I'm Colombian. It's a very pretty name. It means Esmeralda of the Wolves. That's one heck of a name you got there, sister. Thank you. And what is your name? Butch. What does it mean? I'm an American. Our names don't mean onion. Anyway, moving right along, what is it you want to know, Esmeralda? I want to know what it feels like to kill a man. I couldn't tell you. I didn't know he was dead till you told me he was dead. Now I know he's dead. Do you want to know how I feel about it? Esmeralda nods her head yes. I don't feel the least little bit bad. You want to know why, Esmeralda? Esmeralda nods her head yes. Because I'm a boxer. And after you said that, you said pretty much all there is to say about me. Now maybe that son of a pepperoni tonight was once at one time a boxer. If he was, then he was dead before his cheese ever stepped in the ring. I just put the poor everything out of his misery, and if he never saw it was a boxer, Butch takes a drag. That's what he gets for Buffalo up my sport. In a phone booth raining. We dolly around a phone booth as Butch talks inside. Butch into the phone. What'd I tell you? As soon as the word got out a fix was in, the odds would be out of control. Hey, if he was a better fighter, he'd be alive. If he never laced up his gloves in the first place, which he never should have done, he'd be alive. Enough about the poor, unfortunate Mr. Floyd. Let's talk about the rich and prosperous Mr. Butch. How many bookies you spread it around with? 8? How long to collect? So by tomorrow evening, you'll have it all. Good news, Scotty. Real good news. I understand a few stragglers aside, me and Fabian are gonna leave in the morning. It should take us a couple days to get into Knoxville. Next time we see each other, it'll be on Tennessee time. Butch hangs up the phone. He looks at the cab, waiting to take him wherever he wants to go. Butch to himself in French. Fabian, my love, our adventure begins. In a motel at night, Esmeralda's taxi pulls into the motel parking lot. The rain has stopped, but the night is still soaked. Butch gets out, now fully dressed in t-shirt, jeans, and high school athletic jacket. He leans in the driver's side window. $45.60, handing her the money. Merci beaucoup, and here's a little something for the effort. Butch holds up a $100 bill. Esmeralda's eyes light up. She goes to take it. Butch holds it out of reach. Now, if anybody should ask you about who your fare was tonight, what are you going to tell them? The truth. 3 well-dressed, slightly toasted Mexicans. He gives her the bill. Bonsoir, Esmeralda. Sleep well, Butch. He tweaks her nose and smiles. She smiles, and he turns and walks away. She drives off. Now, at the motel, room 6. Butch enters and turns on the light. Lying curled up on the bed, fully dressed with her back to us, is Butch's French girlfriend, Fabian. Keep the light off. Butch flicks the switch back, making the room dark again. Is that better, Sugar Pop? Oi, hard day at the office? Pretty hard. I got into a fight. Poor baby. Can we make spoons? Butch climbs into bed, spooning Fabian from behind. When Butch and Fabian speak to each other, they speak in baby talk. I was looking at myself in the mirror. Uh-huh. I wish I had a pot. You were looking in the mirror and you wish you had some pot. A pot belly. Pot bellies are sexy. Well, you should be happy, 'cause you do. Shut up, fatso. I don't have a pot. I have a bit of a tummy like Madonna, and she did Lucky Star. It's not the same thing. I didn't realize there was a difference between a tummy and a pot belly. The difference is huge. You want me to have a pot? No, pot bellies make a man look either oafish or like a gorilla. But on a woman, a pot belly is very sexy. The rest of you is normal. Normal face, normal legs, normal hips, normal sausage, but with a big, perfectly round pot belly. If I had one, I'd wear a t-shirt 2 sizes too small to accentuate it. You think guys would find that attractive? I don't give a pepperoni what men find attractive. It's unfortunate what we find pleasing to the touch and pleasing to the eye is seldom the same. If I had a pot belly, I'd punch you in it. You'd punch me in my belly? Right in the belly. I'd smother you. I'd drop it on you right then on your face, till you couldn't breathe. You'd do that to me? Yes. Did you get everything, Sugar Pop? Yes, I did. Good job. Did everything go as planned? You didn't listen to the radio? I never listened to your fights. Were you the winner? I won all right. Are you still retiring? Sure am. What about the man you fought? Floyd retired too. Really? He won't be fighting no more? Not no more. So it all worked out in the finish. We ain't at the finish yet, baby. Fabian rolls over and Butch gets on top of her. They kiss. We're in a lot of danger, aren't we? Yes. If they find us, they'll kill us, won't they? Yes. But they won't find us, will they? No. Do you still want me to go with you? Yes. I don't want to be a burden or nuisance. Butch's hand goes out of frame and starts massaging her stromboli. Fabian goes, say it. Fabian, I want you to be with me. Forever and ever. Fabian lays her head back. Butch continues to massage her stromboli. Do you love me? We. Butch, will you give me oral pleasure? Butch kisses her on the mouth. Will you kiss it? Yes. But you first. Butch's head goes down out of frame to carry out stuff. Fabian's face is alone in the frame. Butch, my love, the adventure begins. Fade to black. Whew. Little risque. Let's cool down for a sec. Oh, man. Huh. Oh. Spicy scenes like that, man, you just need to spice it up a little more. Some of these hot tamales on here. All right, we're still in the hotel room here. Same hotel room except empty. We hear the shower running in the bathroom. Camera moves to the bathroom doorway. We see Fabian in a white terry cloth robe that seems to swallow her up. She's drying her head with a towel. Butch is inside the shower washing up. We see the outline of his naked body through the smoky glass of the shower door. Steam fills the bathroom. Butch turns the shower off and opens the door, popping his head out. I think I cracked a rib. Giving me stuff? No. Pepperoni? From the fight. Don't call me a pepperoni. My name is Fabby. My name is Fabby. Shut up. Sausage head. I hate that mongoloid voice. Okay, sorry. I take it back. Can I have a towel, please, Miss Beautiful Tulip? Oh, I like that. I like being called a tulip. Tulip is much better than mongoloid. She finishes drying her hair and wraps the towel like a turban on her head. I didn't call you a mongoloid. I called you a pepperoni. But I took it back. She hands him a towel. Merci beaucoup. Butch. Yes, lemon pie? Where are we going to go? I'm not sure yet. Wherever you want. We're going to get a lot of money from this, but it ain't going to be so much. We can live like hogs in the fat house forever. I was thinking we could go somewhere in the South Pacific. The kind of money we'll have will carry us a long way down there. So if we wanted, we could live in Bora Bora. You betcha. And if after a while you don't dig Bora Bora, then we can move over to Tahiti or Mexico. But I do not speak Spanish. You don't speak Bora Boran either. Besides, Mexican is easy. Donde está el zapataria? What does that mean? Where's the shoe store? Donde está el zapataria? Excellent pronunciation. You'll be my little mamacita in no time. Butch exits the bathroom. We stay on Fabian as she brushes her teeth. Butch keeps on from the other room. Que hora es? Que hora es? What time is it? What time is it? Time for bed. Sweet dreams, Jelly Bean. Fabian brushes her teeth. We watch her for a moment or two. Then she remembers something. Butch. She walks out of the bathroom to ask Butch a question, only to find him sound asleep in bed. She looks at him a moment. Forget it. She exits the frame. Going back in the bathroom, we stay on the wide shot of the unconscious Butch in bed. Now, in the motel room in the morning, same shot as before. The next morning, we find Butch still asleep in bed. Fabian brushes her teeth, half in and half out of the bathroom, so she can watch TV at the same time. She still wears the terry cloth robe from the night before. On TV, William Smith and a bunch of Hell's Angels are taking on the entire Vietnamese army in the film The Losers. Butch wakes from his sleep as if a scary monster was chasing him. His start startles Fabian. Pepperoni, you startled me. Did you have a bad dream? Butch squints down on the front of the bed at her, trying to focus. Yeah, are you still brushing your teeth? This is me. I brush my teeth all night long and into the early morning. Do you think I have a problem? Fabian goes back into the bathroom to spit. If that was supposed to be sarcasm, it was lost on Butch at this early hour. Butch, still trying to chase the cobwebs away, sees on TV Hell's Angels tear pepperoni through a Vietnamese prison camp. What are you watching? A motorcycle movie? I'm not sure the name. Are you watching it? Fabian re-enters the room. In a way, why would you like for me to switch it off? Would you please? She reaches over and turns off the TV. It's a little too early in the morning for explosions and war. What was it about? How should I know? You were the one watching it. Fabian laughs. No, imbecile. What was your dream about? Oh,
I don't remember. It's really rare. I remember a dream. You just woke up from it. Fabian, I'm not lying to you. I don't remember. Well, let's look at the grumpy man in the morning. I didn't say you were lying. It's just odd you don't remember your dreams. I always remember mine. Did you know you talk in your sleep? I don't talk in my sleep. Do I talk in my sleep? You did last night. What did I say? Lying on top of him. I don't know. I couldn't understand you. She kisses Butch. Why don't you get up and we'll get some breakfast at that breakfast place with the pancakes? One more kiss and I'll get up. Fabian gives Butch a sweet long kiss. Fabian says, satisfied? Yup. Then get up, lazy bones. Butch climbs out of the bed and starts pulling clothes out of the suitcase that Fabian brought. What time is it? Almost 9 in the morning. What time does our train arrive? 11. Seen him looking at a pair of pants. Those pants are very nice. Can you wear those with that nice blue shirt you have? He pulls a blue shirt out of the suitcase. This one? That's the one. That matches. Okay. He puts the clothes on. I'm gonna order a big plate of blueberry pancakes with maple syrup, eggs over easy, and 5 sausages. Butch, surprised at her potential appetite. Anything to drink with that? Butch is finished dressing. Fabian, referring to his clothes. Oh yes, that looks nice. To drink, a tall glass of orange juice and a black cup of coffee. After that, I'm going to have a slice of pie. As he goes through the suitcase, pie for breakfast? Any time of the day is a good time for pie. Blueberry pie to go with the pancakes, and on top, a thin slice of melted cheese. Where's my watch? It's there. No, it's not. It's not here. Have you looked? By now, Butch is frantically rummaging through the suitcase. Yes, I've pepperoni looked. He's now throwing clothes. What the cheese do you think I'm doing? Are you sure you got it? Fabian can hardly speak. She's never seen Butch this way. Yes. Beside the table drawer. On the little kangaroo. Yes, it was on your little kangaroo. Well, it's not here. Fabian, on the verge of tears. Well, it should be. Oh, it most definitely should be here, but it's not. So where is it? Fabian is crying and scared. Butch lowers his voice, which only serves to make him more menacing. Fabian, that was my father's sausage watch. You know what my father went through to get me that watch? I don't want to get into it right now, but he went through a lot. Now all this other margarita you could have set on fire, but I specifically reminded you not to forget my father's watch. Now think, did you get it? I believe so. You believe so? You either did or you didn't. Now which one is it? Then I did. Are you sure? No. Butch freaks out. He punches the air. Fabian screams and backs into a corner. Butch picks up the motel TV and throws it against the wall. Fabian screams in horror. Butch looks towards her, suddenly calm. No, it's not your fault. You left it at the apartment. He bends down in front of the woman who has sunk to the floor. He touches her hand. She flinches. If you did leave it at the apartment, it's not your fault. I had you bring a bunch of stuff. I reminded you about it, but I didn't illustrate how personal the watch was to me. If all I gave a pepperoni about was my watch, I should have told you. You ain't a mind reader. He kissed her hand and rises. Fabian is still sniffling. Butch goes to the closet. I'm sorry. Butch puts on his high school jacket. Don't be. It just means I won't be able to eat breakfast with you. Why does it mean that? Because I'm going back to my apartment to get my watch. Won't the gangsters be looking for you there? That's what I'm going to find out. If they are, and I don't think I can handle it, I'll split. Rising from the floor. My darling, I don't want you to be murdered over a silly watch. 1, it's not a silly watch. 2, I'm not going to be murdered. And 3, don't be scared. I won't let anything get in the way of us living a happy life together. What about our train? We got a couple hours yet. I feel so dreadful I saw your watch. I thought I brought it. I'm so sorry. Butch brings her close and puts his hands on her face. Don't feel bad, Sugar Pop. Nothing you could ever do would make me permanently angry at you. I love you. Remember,
He digs some money out of his wallet. Now here's some money. Order those pancakes and have a great breakfast. Don't go. I'll be back before you can say blueberry pie. Blueberry pie. Well, maybe not that fast, but fast, okay? Okay? Okay. He kisses her once more and heads for the door. Bye-bye, Sugar Pop. Bye. I'm gonna take your Honda. Okay. And with that, he's out the door. Fabian sits on the bed and looks at the money he gave her. Now we go to the Honda. Butch is beating the steering wheel and the dash with his fists as he drives down the street. Of all the pepperoni things she could have forgot, she forgets my father's watch. I specifically reminded her not to forget it. Bedside table on the Kangaroo. I said the words, don't forget my father's watch. On the city street, the little Honda races towards its destination as fast as its little engine will take it. Butch continues. What the sausage am I doing? Have I taken one too many hits to the head? That's gotta be it. Brain damage is the only excuse for this dumb a move. Stop the car, Butch. Stop the car, Butch. Pays no attention to himself. Butch, I'm talking to you. Put your foot on the brake. Butch's foot slams down hard on the brake. The little Honda skids to a stop in the middle of the street. Butch hops out of the car like it was on fire. Butch begins pacing back and forth, talking to himself, obviously to passerby and traffic. I ain't gonna do this. This is a punchy move, and I ain't punchy. Daddy would totally pepperoni understand if he was right here. Now he'd say, Butch, get a grip. It's a mushroom watch, man. You lose one, you get another. This is your life you're cheese around with, which you shouldn't be doing because you only got one. Butch continues to pace, but now he's silent. Then, this is my war, you see, Butch. What you're forgetting is this watch isn't just a device that enables you to just keep track of time. This watch is a symbol. It's a symbol of how your father and his father before him and his father before him distinguished themselves in war. And when I took Marcellus Wallace's money, I started a war. This is my World War II. That apartment in North Hollywood, that's my Wake Island. In fact, if you look at it that way, it's almost kismet that Fabian left it behind. And using that perspective, going back for it isn't stupid. It may be dangerous, but it's not stupid, because there are certain things in this world that are worth going back for. That's it. Butch has talked himself into it again. He hops into the car, starts it up, and takes off. A parking meter red flag raises up, then out, leaving the arrow pointing at 1 hour on a residential street corner. Butch isn't completely reckless. He has parked his car a couple of blocks from his apartment to check things out before he goes bopping through the front door. Butch walks down the alley until he gets to another street, then he discreetly glances out. On the street of Butch's apartment, everything seems normal, more or less. The right number of cars on the street, none of the parked cars appear out of place. None of them have a couple of goons sitting inside them. Basically, it looks like normal morning activity in front of Butch's home. Butch peers around a wall, taking in the vital information. Butch to himself, everything looks hunky-dory. Looks can be deceiving, but this time I don't think they are. Why waste the manpower to stake out my place? I'd have to be a pepperoni idiot to come back here. That's how you're gonna beat 'em, Butch. They keep underestimating you. Butch walks out of the alley and is ready for anything. He crosses the street and enters his apartment courtyard. Across the street from Butch's building on the corner is a combination donut shop and Japanese restaurant. A big sign sticks up in the air with the name Teriyaki Donut and a graphic of a donut sticking out of a bowl of rice. So, Butch's apartment courtyard. Butch is in the courtyard of his North Hollywood apartment building. Once again, everything appears normal. The laundry room, the pool, his apartment door, nothing appears disturbed. Butch climbs the stairs leading to his apartment, number 12. He steps outside the door and listens inside. Nothing. Butch slowly inserts the key into the door, quietly opening it. His apartment hasn't been touched. He cautiously steps inside, shuts the door, and takes a quick look around. Obviously, no one is there. Butch walks into his modest kitchen and opens the refrigerator. He takes out a carton of milk and drinks from it. With carton in hand, Butch surveys the apartment, then he goes to the bedroom. His bedroom is like the rest of the apartment, neat, clean, and anonymous. The only things personal in his room are a few boxing trophies, an Olympic silver medal, a framed issue of Ring magazine with Butch on the cover, and a poster of Jerry Quarry with one of George Chivallo. Sure enough, there's the watch, just like he said it was, on the bedside table, hanging on his little kangaroo statue. He puts the milk down on the table, takes the watch, checks the time, and puts it on. Smiling, Butch grabs the milk and exits the bedroom. He walks through the apartment and back into the kitchen. He opens a cupboard and takes out a box of Pop-Tarts. Putting down the milk, he opens the box, takes out 2 Pop-Tarts, and puts them in the toaster. Butch glances to his right. His eyes fall on something. What he sees is a small, compact Czech M61 submachine gun with a huge silencer on it, lying on his kitchen counter. Holy pepperoni! He picks up the intimidating piece of weaponry and examines it. Then a toilet flushes. Butch looks up to the bathroom door, which is parallel to the kitchen. There is someone behind it. Like a rabbit caught in a radish patch, Butch freezes, not knowing what to do. The bathroom door opens and Vincent Vega steps out of the bathroom, tightening his belt. In his hand is the book Modesty Blaze by Peter O'Donnell. Vincent and Butch lock eyes. Vincent freezes. Butch doesn't move except to point the M61 at Vincent's direction. Neither man opens his mouth. Then the toaster loudly kicks up the Pop-Tarts. That's all the situation needed. Butch's finger hits the trigger. Muffled fire shoots out of the end of the gun. Vincent is seemingly racked with 20 bullets simultaneously, lifting him off his feet, propelling him through the air, and crashing through the glass shower door at the end of the bathroom. By the time Butch removes his finger from the trigger, Vincent is annihilated. Butch stands frozen, amazed at what just happened. His look goes from the grease spot in the bathroom that was once Vincent down to the powerful piece of artillery in his grip. With the respect it deserves, Butch carefully places the M61 back on the kitchen counter. Then he exits the apartment quickly. Apartment courtyard during the day. Butch, not running but walking very rapidly, crosses the courtyard, comes out of the apartment building, crosses the street, goes through the alley, and into his car in one Steadicam shot in the Honda during the day. Butch cranks the car into gear and drives away. The big, wide smile of a survivor breaks across his face in the apartment building street. The Honda turns down the alley and slowly cruises by his apartment building. Butch looks out of the window at his former home. That's how you're going to beat 'em, Butch. They keep underestimating ya. This makes the boxer laugh out loud. As he laughs, he flips a tape in the cassette player. When the music starts, he sings along with it. He drives by the apartment, but is stopped at the light on the corner across from Teriyaki Donut. Butch is still chuckling, singing along with the song as we see. Through the windshield, the big man himself, Marcellus Wallace, exit Teriyaki Donut, carrying a box of a dozen donuts and 2 large styrofoam cups of coffee. He steps off the curb, crossing the street in front of Butch's car. This is the first time we see Marcellus clearly. Laughing Boy stops when he sees the big man directly in front of him. When Marcellus is in front of Butch's car, he casually glances to his left, sees Butch, continues walking, then stops. Double take. Am I really seeing what I'm seeing? Butch doesn't wait for the big man to answer his own question. He stomps on the gas pedal. The little Honda slams into Marcellus, sending him the donuts and the coffee, hitting the pavement at 30 miles an hour. Butch cuts into cross traffic and is broadsided by a gold Camaro Z28, breaking all the windows in the Honda and sending it up on the sidewalk. Butch sits dazed and confused in the crumpled mess of what a one-time was Fabian's Honda. Blood flows from his nostrils. The still functional tape player continues to play. A pedestrian pokes his head inside. Jesus, are you okay? Butch looks at him, spaced out. I guess. Marcellus Wallace lies sprawled out in the street. Gawkers gather around the body. He's dead, he's dead. This jerk's yelling makes Marcellus come to. Two pedestrians help the shaken Butch out of the wreckage. The woozy Marcellus gets to his feet. If you need a witness in court, I'll be glad to help. He was a drunken maniac. He hit you and crashed into that car. Who? Him. Marcellus follows the Gawker's finger and sees Butch Coolidge down the street, looking a shambles. Well, I'll be pepperoni. The big man takes out a .45 automatic and the Gawkers back away. Marcellus starts moving toward Butch. Butch sees the fierce figure making a wobbly beeline toward him. Sacre bleu! Marcellus brings up his weapon and fires, but he's so hurt, shaky, and dazed that his arm goes wild. He hits a looky-loo woman in the hip. She falls to the ground screaming, "Oh my God, I've been shot!" That's all Butch needs to see. He's out of there. Marcellus runs after him. The crowd looks agape. Butch is in a mad, limping run. The big man's hot on his sausage with a cockeyed, wobbly run. Butch cuts across traffic and dashes into a business with a sign that reads Mason-Dixon Pawn Shop. In the Mason-Dixon Pawn Shop, Maynard, a hillbilly-looking boy, stands behind the counter of his pawn shop when all of a sudden chaos in the form of Butch races into his world. Can I help you with something? Butch quickly takes measure of the situation, then stands next to the door. Now, you just wait one everything minute. Before Maynard can finish his threat, Marcellus charges in. He doesn't get past the doorway because Butch lands his fist in Marcellus's face. The gangster's feet go out from under him and the big man falls flat on his back. Outside, two police cars with their sirens blaring race by. Butch pounces on the fallen body, punching him twice more in the face. Butch takes the gun out of Marcellus's hand, then grabs a hold of his middle finger. So you like chasing people, huh? He breaks the finger. Marcellus lets out a pain sound. Butch then places the barrel of the .45 between his eyes, pulls back the hammer, and places his open hand behind the gun to shield the splatter. Well, guess what, big man? You caught me. Hold it right there, pepperoni. Butch and Marcellus look up at Maynard, who's brandishing a pump-action shotgun aimed at the two men. Look, mister, this ain't any of your business. I'm making it my business. Now toss that gun. Butch does. Now, you on top. Stand up and come to the counter. Butch slowly gets up and moves to the counter. As soon as he gets there, Maynard hauls off, hitting him hard in the face with the butt of the shotgun, knocking Butch down and out. After Butch goes down, Maynard calmly lays the shotgun on the counter and moves to the telephone. Marcellus Wallace, from his position on the floor, groggily watches the pawn shop owner dial a number. Maynard waits on the line while the other end rings. Then it picks up. Zed, it's Maynard. Spider just caught a couple of flies. Marcellus passes out. Now, in the pawn shop back room. Two shot. Butch and Marcellus are tied up in two separate chairs. In their mouths are two S&M style ball gags. A belt goes around their heads and a little red ball sticks out in their mouths. Both men are unconscious. Maynard steps in with a fire extinguisher and sprays both guys until they're wide awake and wet as otters. The two prisoners look up at their captor. Maynard stands in front of them, fire extinguisher in one hand, shotgun in the other, and Marcellus's .45 sticking in his belt. Nobody kills anything in my place of business except me or Zed. A buzzer buzzes. That's Zed. Without saying another word, Maynard climbs up the stairs that led to the red curtains and goes through them. We hear on the other side of the curtains Maynard let Zed inside the store. Butch and Marcellus look around the room. The basement of the pawn shop has been converted into a dungeon. After taking in their predicament, Butch and Marcellus look at each other, all traces of hostility gone, replaced by a terror they both share at what they've gotten themselves into. Maynard and Zed come through the curtains. Zed is an even more intense version of Maynard, if such a thing is possible. The two hillbillies are obviously brothers. Where Maynard is a vicious pit bull, Zed is a deadly cobra. Zed walks in and stands in front of the two captives. He inspects them for a long time, then says, "You said you waited for me?" "I did." "And how come they're all beat up?" "They did that to each other. They was fighting when they came in. This one was going to shoot that one." "You were going to shoot him?" Butch makes no reply. "Hey, is Grace going to be okay in front of this place?" "Yeah, it ain't Tuesday, is it?" "No, it's Thursday." "Then she'll be fine. Bring out the gimp. I think the gimp's asleep." "Well, I guess you'll just wake 'em up then, won't you?" Maynard opens a trap door in the floor. "Wake up!" Maynard reaches into the hole and comes back holding onto a leash. He gives it a rough yank, and from below the floor rises the gimp. The gimp is a man they keep dressed from head to toe in black leather bondage gear. There are zippers, buckles, and studs here and there on the body. On his head is a black leather mask with 2 eye holes for and a zipper closed for a mouth. They keep him in a hole in the floor big enough for a large dog. Zed takes the chair, sits it in front of the 2 prisoners, then lowers into it. Maynard hands the gimp's leash to Zed, then backs away. "Down!" The gimp gets on its knees. Maynard hangs back while Zed appraises the 2 men. "Who's first?" "I ain't for sure yet." Then, with his little fingers, Zed does a silent eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Just his mouth mouthing the words and his finger going back and forth between the 2. Butch and Marcellus are terrified. Maynard looks back and forth at the victims. The gimp's eyes go from one to the other inside the mask. Zed continues his silent sing-along with his finger moving left to right, then it stops. Butch and Marcellus. After a beat, the camera moves to the right, zeroing in on Marcellus. Zed stands up. "Want to do it here?" "Nah, drag big boy to Russell's old room." Zed grabs Marcellus's chair and drags him into Russell's old room. Russell, no doubt, was some other poor bastard that had the misfortune of stumbling into the Mason-Dixon pawn shop. Whatever happened to Russell is known only to Maynard and Zed because his old room, a back room in the back of the back room, is empty. As Marcellus is dragged away, he locks eyes with Butch before he disappears behind the door of Russell's old room. Up! The gimp rises. Maynard ties the gimp's leash to a hook on the ceiling. "Keep an eye on this one." The gimp bows its head. "Yes." Maynard disappears into Russell's old room. There must be a stereo in there because suddenly the Judge singing in harmony fills the air. Butch looks at the gimp. The gimp giggles from underneath the mask as if this were the funniest moment in the history of comedy. From behind the door, we hear country music, struggling, and, "Whoa, this boy's got a bit of a fight in him." We then hear Maynard and Zed beat on Marcellus. "You want to fight? You want to fight? Good, I like to fight."
Butch pauses, listens to the voices, then in panic hurriedly struggles to get free. The Gimp is laughing wildly. The ropes are too tight on Butch, can't break free. The Gimp slaps his knee laughing. In the back room we hear, that's it, boy. You're going fine. Oh, just like that. That's good. Stay still, pepperoni. Zed, sausage, get over here and hold him. Butch stops struggling and lifts up his arms. Then, quite easily, the padded chair back slides up and off as if it were never connected by a bolt. The Gimp sees this and his eyes widen. Huh? The Gimp flails wildly, trying to get the leash off the hook. He tries to yell, but all that comes out are excited gurgles and grunts. Butch is out of his chair, quickly dispensing 3 boxers' punches to its face. The punches knock the Gimp out, making him fall to his knees, thus hanging himself by the leash attached to the hook. Butch removes the gag, then suddenly makes his way through the red curtains. Butch sneaks to the door. On the counter is a big set of keys with a large Z connected to the ring. Grabbing them, he's about to go out when he stops and listens to the hillbilly psychopaths having their way with Marcellus. Butch decides that for the life of him he can't leave anybody in a situation like that, so he begins rooting around the pawn shop for a weapon to bash those hillbillies' heads with. He picks up a big destructive-looking hammer, then discards it, not destructive enough. He picks up a chainsaw, thinks about it for a moment, then puts it back. Next, a large Louisville slugger. He tries on for size, but then he spots what he's been looking for, a samurai sword. It hangs in its hand, carved wood sheath from a nail on the wall, next to a neon Daddy's old-fashioned root beer sign. Butch takes the sword off the wall, removing it from its sheath. It's a magnificent piece of steel, seems to glisten in the low wattage light of the pawn shop. Butch touches his thumb to the blade to see if the sword is just for show. Not on your life. It's as sharp as it gets. This weapon seems made to order for the brothers Grimm downstairs. Holding the sword pointed downward, Takakura Ken style, he disappears through the red curtains to take care of business in the pawn shop back room. Butch quietly sneaks down the stairs leading to the dungeon stuff, and the Judds can still be heard going strong behind the closed door that leads to Russell's old room. In Russell's old room in the day. Butch's hands come into frame, pushing the door open. It swings open silently, revealing the 2 pizzas who have switched positions. Zed is now bent over Marcellus, who is bent over a wooden horse. Maynard watches. Both have their backs to Butch. Maynard faces the camera, grinning, while Butch comes up behind him with a sword. Miserable, violated, and looking like a rag doll, Marcellus, red gag still in mouth, opens his watery eyes to see Butch coming up behind Maynard. His eyes widen. Hey, hillbilly. Maynard turns and sees Butch holding the sword. Butch screams with one mighty swing, slashes Maynard across his front, moving past him, eyes and blade now locked on Zed. Maynard stands trembling, his front sliced open in shock. Butch, while never taking his eyes off Zed, thrusts the sword behind him, skewering Maynard, then extracts it. Pointing the blade toward Zed, Maynard collapses. Zed disengages from Marcellus in a hurry, and his eyes go from the tip of Butch's sword to Marcellus's .45 automatic, which lies within reach. Butch's eyes follow Zed's. You want that gun, Zed? Pick it up. Zed's hand inches toward the weapon. Butch grips the sword tighter. Zed studies Butch. Butch looks hard at Zed. Then a voice says, "Step aside, Butch." Butch steps aside, revealing Marcellus standing behind him, holding Maynard's pump-action shotgun. Kaboom! Zed is blasted in the groin. Down he goes, screaming in agony. Marcellus looks down at his whimpering person, ejects the used shotgun shell. Butch lowers the sword and hangs back. Not a word until... You okay? Nah, man, I'm pretty sausage far from okay. What now? What now? Well, let me tell you what now. I'm going to call a couple pipe-hitting pepperoni who will go to work on Holmes here with a pair of pliers and a blowtorch. Hear me talking, hillbilly boy? I ain't through with you.
by a mushroom slight. I'm going to get medieval on your cheese. I meant what now between me and you. Oh, that? What now? Well, let me tell you what now between me and you. There is no me and you. Not no more. So we're cool? Yeah, man, we're cool. One thing I ask, two things I ask. Don't tell nobody about this. This pepperoni's between me and you and the soon to be living the rest of his short sausage life in agonizing pain, Mr. Pepperoni here. It ain't nobody else's business. Two, leave town tonight, right now, and when you're gone, stay gone. You've lost your Los Angeles privileges. Deal? Deal. Two men shake hands and hug one another. Go on now, get your pepperoni out of here. Butch leaves Russell's old room through the red curtains. Marcellus walks over to a phone, dialing a number. Hello, Mr. Wolf, it's Marcellus. Got a bit of a situation. Mason-Dixon pawn shop during the day. Butch, still shaking in his boots, exits the pawn shop. He looks ahead and sees, parked in front of the establishment, Zed's big chrome chopper with a teardrop gas tank that he has the name Grace on it. He climbs aboard, takes out the keys with the big Z on them, and starts up the huge hog. It rumbles to life, making sounds like a rocket fighting for orbit. Butch twists the accelerator handle and speeds off. We cut back and forth between Butch and Fabian's hotel room. Fabian stands in front of the mirror wearing a Frankie Says Relax t-shirt, singing along with music coming from a boombox. City Street chopper. Butch drives down the street, humping a hot hog named Grace. He checks his father's watch. It says 10:30. The song in the motel room plays over this. In the motel room, Butch rides up on Grace. He hops off and runs inside the hotel room while we stay outside with the bike. Butch, I was so worried. Honey, grab your radio and your purse and let's go. But what about all our bags? Pepperoni the bags. We'll miss our train if we don't split now. Is everything well? Are we in danger? We're cool. In fact, we're super cool. But we gotta go. I'll wait for you outside. Butch runs out and hops back on the bike. Fabian exits the motel room with the boombox and a large purse. When she sees Butch on the chopper, she stops dead. Where did you get this motorcycle? It's a chopper, baby. Hop on. Fabian slowly approaches the two-wheel demon. What happened to my Honda? Sorry, baby. I crashed your Honda. You're hurt? I might have broke my nose. No biggie. Hop on. She doesn't move. Butch looks at her. Honey, we gotta hit the Pepperoni Road. Fabian starts to cry. Butch realizes that this is not the way to get her on the bike. He turns off the engine, reaches out, taking her hand. I'm sorry, baby love. You were gone so long I started to think dreadful thoughts. I'm sorry I worried you, sweetie. Everything's fine. Hey, how was breakfast? Waterworks drying a little. It was good. Did you get the blueberry pancakes? No, they didn't have blueberry pancakes. I had to get buttermilk. Are you sure you're okay? Baby love, from the moment I left you, this has been, without a doubt, the single weirdest day of my entire life. Climb on, and I'll tell you about it. Fabian does climb on. Butch starts her up. Butch, whose motorcycle is this? It's a chopper. Whose chopper is this? Zed's. Who's Zed? Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead. And with that, the two lovebirds peel away on Grace as the song on the boombox rises. Title card. Jules, Vincent, Jimmy, and the Wolf. The title disappears. Over Black we can hear in the distance men talking. You ever read the Bible, Brett? Yes. There's a passage I got memorized. Seems appropriate for this situation. Ezekiel 25:17. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. In the bathroom. We're in the bathroom of the Hollywood apartment we were in earlier. In fact, we're there at exactly the same time, except this time we're in the bathroom with the fourth man. The fourth man is pacing around the small room, listening hard to what's being said on the other side of the door, tightly clutching his huge silver .357 Magnum. Jules. Blessed is he in the name of charity and goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness, and I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers, and you will know I am the Lord, and when I lay my vengeance upon you. Bang, 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 pow, bam, 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 bam. The fourth man freaks out. He throws himself against the back wall. gun outstretched in front of him, a look of yellow fear on his face, ready to blow in half anybody fool enough to stick their head through that door. Then he listens to them talk. Friend of yours? Yeah, Marvin, Vincent Marvin. Waiting for them isn't the smartest move. Bursting out the door and blowing them all away while they're pepperoni around is the way to go. In the apartment, the bathroom door bursts open and the fourth man charges out, silver magnum raised, firing 6 booming shots from his hand cannon. Die, 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 die! We dolly into the fourth man, same as before. He screams until he's dry firing. Then a look of confusion crosses his face. We look at Jules and Vincent, standing next to each other, unharmed. Amazing as it seems, none of the fourth man's shots appear to have hit anybody. Jules and Vincent exchange looks like, are we hit? They're as confused as the shooter. After looking at each other, they bring their looks up to the fourth man. I don't understand. The fourth man is taken out of this scenario by the 2 men's bullets, who, unlike his, hit their marks. He drops dead. The 2 men lower their guns. Jules, obviously shaken, sits down in a chair. Vincent, after a moment of respect, shrugs it off, then heads toward Marvin in the corner. Why the sausage didn't you tell us about that guy in the bathroom? Slip your mind? Forget he was in there with a mushroom hand cannon? Jules then says to himself, we should be pepperoni dead right now. Did you see that gun he fired at us? It was bigger than him. 357. We should be cheese. Yeah, we were lucky. Jules rises, moving toward Vincent. That margarita wasn't luck. That everything was something else. Vincent prepares to leave. Yeah, maybe. That was divine intervention. You know what divine intervention is? Yeah, I think so. That means God came down from heaven and stopped the bullets. Yeah, man, that's what it means. That's exactly what it means. God came down from heaven and stopped the bullets. I think we should be going now. Don't do that. Don't you meat lovers do that. Don't blow this vegetarian off. What just happened was a meat lover's miracle. Chill the pepperoni out, Jules. This vegetable happens. Wrong. This pineapple doesn't just happen. Do you want to continue this theological discussion in the car or at the jailhouse with the cops? We should be sausage dead now. My friend, we just witnessed a miracle, and I want you to meat lovers acknowledge it. Okay, man, it was a miracle. Can we leave now? Now in the Hollywood apartment building, the Chevy Nova propels itself into traffic. In the Nova, Jules is behind the wheel. Vincent is the passenger seat, and Marvin in the back. Vincent then says, ever seen that show Cops? I was watching it once, and this cop was on it who was talking about this time he got into this gunfight with a guy in a hallway. He unloads on this guy, and he doesn't hit anything. And these guys were in a hallway. It's a freak, but it happens. If you want to play blind man, then go walk with a shepherd. But me, my eyes are wide, pepperoni open. What the vegetable does that mean? That's it for me. From here on in, you can consider my vegetable retired. Jesus Christ, don't blaspheme. Pepperoni, Jules. I said don't do that. You're Hawaiian, freaking out. I'm telling Marcellus today I'm through. While you're at it, be sure to tell him why. Don't worry, I will. I'll bet you $10,000 he laughs his buffalo off. I don't give a pepperoni if he does. Vincent turns in the back seat with the .45 casually in his grip. Marvin, what do you make of all this? I don't even have an opinion. Come on, Marvin. Do you think God came down from heaven and stopped the bullets? Vincent's .45 goes bang. Marvin is hit in the upper chest. Below the throat, he gurgles blood and shakes. What the pepperoni's happening? I just accidentally shot Marvin in the throat. Why the sausage did you do that? I didn't mean to do it. I said it was an accident. I've seen a lot of crazy vegetables in my time. Chill out, man. It was an accident, okay? You hit a bump or something, and the gun went off. The car didn't hit no mother pepperoni bump. Look, I didn't mean to shoot this son of a cheese. The gun just went off. Don't ask me how. Now I think the humane thing to do is put him out of his misery. You want to shoot him again? The guy's suffering. It's the right thing to do. Marvin, suffering though he is listening to this debate, not believing what he's hearing. This is really uncool. Vincent turns to the back seat, places the barrel of the .45 against Marvin's forehead. Marvin's eyes are as big as saucers. He tries to talk Vince out of this, but when he opens his mouth, only gurgles come out. Marvin, I just want to apologize. I got nothing to do with this pepperoni, and I want you to know I think it's mushroomed up. Okay, Pontius Pilate, when I count 3, honk your horn. 1, 2, close up of the steering wheel. 3. Jules presses down hard on the horn, honk and bang. When we cut back to the 2 men, the car is completely covered in blood. It's all over everything, including Jules and Vincent. Pepperoni pizza almighty. Sausage. Look at this mess. We're driving around on a city street in broad daylight. I know. I wasn't thinking about the splatter. Well, you better be thinking about it now, Mother Pepperoni. We got to get this car off the road. Cops tend to notice mushrooms like you're driving a car drenched in cheese blood. Can't we just take it to a friendly place? This is the valley, Vincent. Marcellus don't got no friendly places in the valley. Well, don't look at me. This is your town, Jules. Jules takes out a cellular phone and starts punching digits. Who you calling? A buddy of mine in Toluca Lake. Where's Toluca Lake? On the other side of the hill, by Burbank Studios. If Jimmy's pepperoni ain't home, I don't know what the sausage we're going to do. I ain't got any other partners in 818. Jimmy, how you doing, man? It's Jules. Listen up, man. Me and my homeboy are in some serious sausage. We're in a car. We got to get off the road pronto. I need to use your garage for a couple hours. Jimmy, you know I can't get into this pepperoni on a cellular sausage phone. But what I can say is my pineapple is out in the cold and I'm asking you for some sanctuary till our people can bring us in. I appreciate this, man. We'll be gone by then. Jimmy, I'm aware of your situation. I ain't gonna pepperoni things up for you. I give you my word, partner. She'll never know we were there. 5 minutes later, he folds up the phone and turns to Vincent. We're set, but his wife comes home from work in an hour and a half, and we gotta be out of there by then. Oh, this is getting nuts. See what this Jimmy has going on. So we're in Jimmy's house in the morning. The Nova pulls into the garage of a 2-bedroom suburban house. In Jimmy's bathroom, Jules is bent over a sink washing his bloody hands while Vincent stands behind him. We gotta be real. Okay, let's change it up again. Let's make the colorful words into... I don't know, major fast food chain brands. We got to be real McDonald's delicate with this Jimmy situation. He's one remark away from kicking our Burger King out the door. If he kicks us out, what do? Well, we ain't leaving till we made a couple phone calls, but I never want it to reach that pitch. Jimmy's my friend, and you don't bust in your friend's house and start telling them what's what. Jules rises and dries his hands. Vincent takes his place at the sink. Just tell him not to be abusive. He kind of freaked out back there when he saw Marvin. Put yourself in his position. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. He just woke up. He wasn't prepared for this Wendy's. Don't forget who's doing who a favor. Vincent finishes, then dries his hands on a white towel. If the price of that favor is I gotta take Subway, he can stick his favor straight up his blimpy. When Vincent is finished drying his hands, the towel is stained with red. What the Arby's did you just do to his towel? I was just drying my hands. You're supposed to wash them first. You watched me wash them. I watched you get them wet. I washed them. Blood's real hard to get off. Maybe if he had some lava, I could have done a better job. I used the same soap you did, and when I dried my hands, the towel didn't look like a Wendy's maxi pad. Look, McDonald's it, all right? Who cares? But it's Subway like this that's going to bring this situation to a boil. If he were here to come in, if he were to come in here and see that towel like that, I'm telling you, Vincent, you best be cool, because if I got to get into it with Jimmy on account of you, look, I ain't threatening you. I respect you and all. Just don't put me in that position. Jules, you ask me nice like that. No problem. He's your friend. You handle him. In Jimmy's kitchen. 3 men are standing in Jimmy's kitchen, each with a mug of coffee. Jules, Vincent, and Jimmy Dimmick. A young man in his late 20s dressed in a bathrobe. Arby's, Jimmy, this is some serious gourmet McDonald's. Me and Vincent would have been satisfied with freeze-dried Taster's Choice. You spring this gourmet Pizza Hut Domino's on us. What flavor is this? Knock it off, Julie. What? I'm not a cob of corn, so you can stop buttering me up. I don't need you to tell me how good my coffee is. I'm the one who buys it. I know how McDonald's good it is. When Bonnie goes shopping, she buys Pizza Hut. I buy the gourmet expensive stuff because when I drink it, I want to taste it. But what's on my mind at this moment isn't the coffee in my kitchen. It's the dead Pizza Hut in my garage. Jimmy, I'm talking. Now let me ask you a question, Jules. When you drove in here, did you notice a sign out front that said Dead Papa John's Storage? Jules starts to Jimmy, him. Answer to question, did you see a sign out in front of my house that said Dead Firehouse Sub Storage? Nah, man, I didn't. You know why you didn't see that sign? Why? 'Cause storing dead Pizza Huts ain't my Wendy's business. Jules starts to Jimmy, him. I ain't through. Now don't you understand that if Bonnie comes home and finds a dead body in her house, I'm going to get divorced. No marriage counselor, no trial, separation. McDonald's divorced. And I don't want to get Wendy's divorced. The last time me and Bonnie talked about this, Arby's was going to be the last time, man. Bonnie talked about this Taco Bell. Now I want to help you out, Julie. I really do. But I ain't going to lose my wife doing it. Jimmy. Don't McDonald's Jimmy me, man. I can't be Jimmy'd. There's nothing you can say that's going to make me forget. I love my wife. Now she's working the graveyard shift at the hospital. She'll be coming home in less than an hour and a half. Make your phone calls, talk to your people, then get the McDonald's out of my house. That's all we want. We don't want to Arby's up your Taco Bell. We need to call our people to bring us in. Then I suggest you get to it. Phone's in my bedroom. As Jules crosses the room, exiting. Your friend, Jimmy. You're a good McDonald's friend. Yeah. I'm a real good friend. Good friend, bad husband, soon-to-be ex-husband. Who the Taco Bell are you? I'm Vincent. And Jimmy, thanks a bunch. The 2 men laugh. Don't mention it. Marcellus Wallace's dining room in the morning. Marcellus Wallace sits at his dining table in a big comfy robe, eating his large breakfast while talking on the phone. Well, say she comes home. What do you think she'll do? No Arby's, McDonald's, she'll freak. That ain't no kind of answer. You know her. I don't. How bad, a lot or a little? Jules paces around in Jimmy's bedroom on the phone. You got to appreciate what an explosive element this Bonnie situation is. If she comes home from a hard day's work and finds a bunch of gangsters doing a bunch of gangsta McDonald's in her kitchen, ain't no telling what she's apt to do. Let us speak of the unspeakable. Possibly exists, but unlikely. Why possible, but unlikely? Because if I push met shove, I'll take care of business, but push ain't never gonna meet shove because you're gonna solve this McDonald's for us. And you're gonna take our Taco Bell out of the cold and bring it inside where it's warm. Because if I gotta get into it with my friend about his wife over your boy Vincent, I'm gonna have bad feelings. I've grasped that, Jules. All I'm doing is contemplating my ifs. I don't want to hear about no Taco Bell ifs. What I want to hear from your McDonald's is you ain't got no problems, Jules. I'm on the Burger King. Go back in there, chill them Taco Bells out, and wait for the cavalry, which should be coming directly. You ain't got no problems, Jules. I'm on the McDonald's. Go back in there, chill them Taco Bells out, and wait for the wolf. Who should be coming directly. You sending the wolf? Feel better? McDonald's, Taco Bell. That's all you had to say? In the hotel suite, the camera looks through the bedroom doorway of a hotel suite into the main area. We see a crap game being played on a fancy crap table by gamblers in tuxedos and lucky ladies in fancy evening gowns. The camera pans to the right, revealing sitting on a bed, phone in hand with his back to us, the tuxedo-clad Winston Wolf, a.k.a. the Wolf. We also see the wolf has a small notepad that he jots details in. The wolf. Is she the hysterical type? When'd she do? Give me the principals' names again. Jules. We see his book. The page has written on it. 1265 Riverside Drive, Toluca Lake. One body, no head. Bloody shot up car. Jules. The wolf. Vincent, Jimmy, Bonnie. He writes, Vincent, Dean Martin. Jimmy, house, Bonnie, 9:30. The wolf. Expect a call around 10:30. It's about 30 minutes away. I'll be there in 10. He hangs up. We never see his face. 9 minutes and 37 seconds later. A silver Porsche whips the corner leading to Jimmy's home in hyperdrive, easily doing 135 miles per hour. The Porsche stops on a dime in front of Jimmy's house. A ringed finger touches the doorbell. Ding dong. Jimmy's house in the morning. Jimmy opens the door. We see standing in the doorway the tuxedo-clad man. He looks down in his notebook, then up at Jimmy. You Jimmy, right? This your house? Yeah. I'm Winston Wolf. I solve problems. Good, 'cause we got one. So I heard. May I come in? Please do. The two men walk into the dining room. I want to convey Mr. Wallace's gratitude with the help you're providing us on this matter. Let me assure you, Jimmy, Mr. Wallace's gratitude is worth having. In the dining room, Jules and Vincent stand up. You must be Jules, which would make you Vincent. Let's get down to brass tacks, gentlemen. If I was informed correctly, the clock is ticking. Is that right, Jimmy? 100%. Your wife, Bonnie, comes home at 9:30 in the a.m. Is that correct? Uh-huh. I was led to believe if she comes home and finds us here, she wouldn't appreciate it none too much. She won't at that. That gives us 40 minutes to get the McDonald's out of Dodge, which if you do what I say when I say it, should be plenty. Now, you got a corpse in a car minus a head in a garage. Take me to it. So the three men hang back as the wolf examines the car. He studies the car in silence, opening the door, looking inside, circling it. Jimmy? Yes? Do me a favor, will you? Thought I smelled some coffee in there. Would you make me a cup? Sure. How do you take it? Lots of cream, lots of sugar. Jimmy exits. The wolf continues his examination about the car. About the car, is there anything I need to know? Does it stall? Does it make a lot of noise? Does it smoke? Is there gas in it? Anything? Aside from how it looks, the car's cool. Positive? Don't get me out on the road and I find out the brake lights don't work. Hey, man, as far as I know, the Wendy's tip-top. Good enough. Let's go back to the kitchen. Jimmy hands the wolf a cup of coffee. Thank you, Jimmy. He takes a sip, then, pacing as he thinks, lays out for the three men the plan of action. Okay, first thing, you two. Take the body, stick it in the trunk. Now, Jimmy, this looks to be a pretty domesticated house. That would lead me to believe that in the garage or under the sink you got a bunch of cleaners and cleansers and McDonald's like that. Am I correct? Yeah, exactly. Under the sink? Good. What I need you two fellas to do is take those cleaning products and clean the inside of the car, and I'm talking fast, fast, fast. You need to go in the back seat, scoop up all those little pieces of brain and skull, get it out of there, wipe down the upholstery. Now, when it comes to upholstery, it doesn't need to be spick and span. You don't need to eat off it. Give it a good once over. What you need to take care of are the really messy parts, the pools of blood that have collected. You got to soak that McDonald's up. But the windows are a different story. Them you really clean. Get the Windex. Do a good job. Now, Jimmy, we need to raid your linen closet. I need blankets. I need comforters. I need quilts. I need bedspreads. The thicker, the better. The darker, the better. No whites. Can't use them. We need to camouflage the interior of the car. We're going to line the front seat and the back seat and the floorboards with quilts and blankets. If a cop stops us and starts sticking his big snout in the car, the subterfuge won't last long, but at a glance the car will appear to be normal. Jimmy, lead the way. Boys, get to work. The wolf and Jimmy turn, heading for the bedroom, leaving Vincent and Jewel standing in the kitchen. A please would be nice. The wolf stops and turns around. Come again? I said please would be nice. The wolf takes a step toward him. Get it straight, Buster. I'm not here to say please. I'm here to tell you what to do. And if self-preservation is an instinct you possess, you better Subway do it. And do it quick. I'm here to help. If my help's not appreciated, lots of luck, gentlemen. It ain't that way, Mr. Wolf. Your help is definitely appreciated. I don't mean any disrespect, just don't like people barking orders at me. If I'm curt with you, it's because time is a factor. I think fast, I talk fast, and I need you guys to act fast. If you want to get out of this, so pretty please, with sugar on top, clean the Wendy's car. Jimmy's gathering all the bedspreads, quilts, and linen that he has. The wolf is on the phone. It's a 1974 Chevy Nova, white, nothing except for the mess inside. About 20 minutes, nobody'll be missed. You're a good man, Joe. See you soon. How we coming, Jimmy? Jimmy comes over with a handful of linen. Mr. Wolf, you gotta understand something. Winston, Jimmy, please, Winston. You gotta understand something, Winston. I want to help you guys out and all, but that's my best linen. It was a wedding present from my Uncle Conrad and Aunt Ginny, and they ain't with us anymore. Let me ask you a question, if you don't mind. Sure. Were your Uncle Conrad and Aunt Ginny millionaires? No. Well, your Uncle Marcellus is, and I'm positive if Uncle Conrad and Aunt Ginny were millionaires, they would have furnished you with a whole bedroom set, which your Uncle Marcellus is more than happy to do. Takes out a roll of bills. I like oak myself. That's what's in my bedroom. How about you, Jimmy? You an oak man? Oak's nice. Both Jules and Vincent are inside the car cleaning it up. Vincent is in the front seat washing windows, while Jules is in the back seat picking up little pieces of skull and gobs of brain. Both are twice as bloody as they were before. I will never forgive your McDonald's for this, Wendy's. This is some Taco Bell up repugnant blimpy. Did you ever hear the philosophy that once a man admits he's wrong, he's immediately forgiven for all wrongdoings? Man, get out of my face with that Taco Bell. The Pizza Hut who said that never had to pick up itty-bitty pieces of skull with his fingers on account of your dumb McDonald's. I got a threshold, Jules. I got a threshold for the abuse I'll take, and you're crossing it. I'm a race car, and you got me in the red line 7,000. That's where you are. Just know it's Arby's dangerous to be driving a race car when it's in the red. It could blow. You're getting ready to blow? I'm a mushroom cloud lion Mother McDonald's. Every time my fingers touch brain, I'm Superfly TNT. I'm the Guns of Navarone. I'm what Jimmy Walker used to talk about. In fact, what the Taco Bell am I doing in the back? You're the mother Taco Bell. Should be on the brain detail. We're trading. I'm washing windows, and you're picking up this Taco Bell skull. A Chevy Nova in the morning. The interior of the car has been cleaned and lined with bedspreads and quilts. Believe it or not, what looked like a portable slaughterhouse can actually pass for a nondescript vehicle. The wolf circles the car, examining it. Jules and Vincent stand aside. Their clothes are literally a bloody mess, but they do have a sense of pride in what a good job they've done. Fine job, gentlemen. We may get out of this yet. I can't believe that's the same car. Well, let's not start sucking each other's Taco Bell quite yet. Phase 1 is complete. Clean the car, which moves us right along to Phase 2. Clean you two. Jules and Vincent stand side by side in their black suits covered in blood. In Jimmy's backyard, Jimmy holds a plastic, hefty trash bag, while the wolf holds a garden hose with one of those gun nozzles attached. Strip all the way to your bare McDonald's. As they follow directions, the wolf enjoys a smoke. Quickly, gentlemen, we got about 15 minutes before Jimmy's better half comes pulling into the driveway. This morning air is some chilly Taco Bell. Are you sure this is absolutely necessary? You know what you two look like? What? Like a couple guys who just blew off somebody's head. Yes, stripping off those bloody rags is absolutely necessary. Toss the clothes in Jim's garbage bag. Now, Jimmy, don't do nothing stupid like putting that out in front of your house for Elmo the garbage man to take away. Don't worry, we're taking it with us, Jim the soap. He hands the now naked men a bar of soap. Okay, gentlemen, you've both been to county before, I'm sure. Here it comes. He hits the trigger. Water shoots out, smacking both men. Taco Bell, that water's McDonald's cold. Better you than me, gentlemen. The two men, trembling, scrub themselves. Don't be afraid of the soap. Spread it around. The wolf stops the hose, tossing it on the ground. Towel 'em. Jimmy tosses them each a towel, which they rub furiously across their bodies. You're dry enough. Give 'em their clothes. Okay, fellas, in one-size-fits-all category, we got swim trunks, one red, one white, and 2 extra-large t-shirts, a UC Santa Cruz shirt, and an I'm with Stupid shirt. I get the I'm with Stupid shirt. Jules and Vincent, in their t-shirts and swim trunks, they look a million miles away from the black-suited, bad McDonald's we first met. Perfect, perfect. We couldn't have planned this better. You guys look like... What do they look like, Jimmy? Dorks. They look like a couple of dorks. The wolf and Jimmy laugh. Ha ha. They're your clothes, Taco Bell. I guess you just gotta know how to wear them. Yeah, well, our Wendy's ain't the experts on wearing dorky McDonald's that yours is. Come on, gentlemen, we're laughing and joking our way into prison. Don't make me beg. They start walking through the house to the garage. Wait a minute, before you guys split, I want to get a picture of this. Jimmy, have you forgotten about your wife coming home? It won't take a second. I don't like this photograph, McDonald's. Sorry, my house, my rules. Jimmy's garage. The garbage bag is tossed in the car trunk on top of Marvin. The wolf slams it closed. Gentlemen, let's get our rules of the road straight. We're going to a place called Monster Joe's Truck and Tow. Monster Joe and his daughter Raquel are sympathetic to our dilemma. The place is North Hollywood, so a few twists and turns aside, we'll be going up Hollywood Way. Now I'll drive the tainted car. Jules, you ride with me. Vincent, you follow in my Porsche. Now, if we cross the path of any John Q. laws, nobody does a McDonald's thing till I do something. What did I say? Don't do Wendy's unless. Unless what? Unless you do it first. Spoken like a true prodigy. How about you, Lash LaRue? Can you keep your spurs from jingling and jangling? I'm cool, Mr. Wolf. My gun just went off. I don't know how. Fair enough. I drive real McDonald's fast, so keep up. If I get my car back any different than I gave it, Monster Joe's going to be disposing of 2 bodies. Why do you drive fast? Because it's a lot of fun. Jules and Vincent laugh. Let's move. Jimmy comes through the door, camera in hand. Wait a minute, I want to take a picture. We ain't got time, man. We got time for one picture. You and Vincent get together. Jules and Vincent stand next to each other. Okay, you guys, put your arms around each other. The 2 men look at each other, and after a long beat, a smile breaks out. They put their arms around each other. Okay, Winston, get in there. I ain't no model. After what a cool guy I've been, I can't believe you do me like this. It's the only thing I asked. Come on, Mr. Wolf. Okay, one photo, and we go. So Dolly toward a lone camera. Everybody say Pepsi. I ain't Wendy saying Pepsi. Smile, Winston. I don't smile in pictures. The camera goes off, flashing the screen white. The photo fades up over white. It's Jules and Vincent, their arms around each other, next to Jimmy, whose arm is around the wolf. Everyone is smiling except you know who. Monster Joe's truck in tow in the morning. Crazy. Winston is counting out $3,000 to an older man in a dirty t-shirt. Monster Joe, we're in Joe's office, which looks like the office of every tow yard on the planet. A filthy, disarrayed mess. Monster Joe says, I've said it before, I'll say it again, your business is always welcome. I would think by now I've earned the equivalent of frequent flyer miles. I'll tell you what, if you ever need it, I'll dispose of a body part for free. How about an upgrade? You dispose a whole body for the price of a body part. The 2 men laugh. That one I need to speak with my accountant on. Where's that reprobate daughter of yours? Out in the yard up to no good. So we're at Monster Joe's truck in tow now. It's still in the morning. Winston steps outside and is joined by Monster Joe's daughter, Raquel. They walk in step across the yard with their arms around each other's waists. Hello, boyfriend. Hello, girlfriend, I swear. Heartbreaker. Joe should change the name of this place to Beauty and the Beast Truck in Tow. You're prejudiced because you love me. Guilty. Now, business is done. It's time for pleasure. The time it is. It's time for bed. Contre Senor Lobo, do you have a different idea? Most definitely. What do you think? I think you're taking me out to breakfast. Well, you thought wrong. That's no fair. I never get to see you. Raquel, I've been up all night. I need sleep. You understand the concept of sleep. Yes, sleep is what you do after you've taken me to breakfast. Just get used to the idea. Indulging me is the price of doing business at Monster Joe's Truck in Tow. Raquel, I haven't seen you in a long time. I miss you. We're going to breakfast, so it is written. So shall it be done. They exit the tow yard. Jules and Vincent wait by Winston's Porsche. Jules says, We cool? Like it never happened. Jules and Vincent bump fists. I apologize for being in your McDonald's like I was. You had every right. I Wendy'sed up. Are they having a moment? Boys, this is Raquel. Someday, all this will be hers. Hi, if they ever do a I Spy the Motion picture, you guys, I'd be great. What's with the outfits? You guys going to a volleyball game? Winston laughs. The boys groan. I'm taking m'lady out to breakfast. Maybe I can drop you 2 off. Where do you live? Redondo Beach, Inglewood. Winston grabs Jules' wrist and pantomimes like he's in a dead zone trance. It's your future. I see a cab ride. Sorry, guys. Move out of the sticks. Say goodbye, Raquel. Goodbye, Raquel. I'll see you 2 around. And stay out of trouble, you crazy kids. Winston turns to leave. Mr. Wolf, he turns around. It was a pleasure watching you work. The wolf smiles. Call me Winston. He turns and banters with Raquel as they get into the Porsche. You hear that, young lady? Respect. You could learn a lot from those two fine specimens. Respect for one's elders shows character. I have character. Just because you are a character doesn't mean you have character. Oh, you're so funny. Oh, you're so funny. The Porsche shoots down the road. The two men left alone look at each other. Want to share a cab? You know, I could go for some breakfast. Want to have breakfast with me? Sure. A coffee shop in the morning. Jules and Vincent sit at a booth. In front of Vincent is a big stack of pancakes and sausages, which he eats with gusto. Jules, on the other hand, just has a cup of coffee and a muffin. He seems far away in thought. The waitress pours a real refill for both men. Thanks a bunch. Want a sausage? Jules says, nah, I don't eat pork. Are you Jewish? I ain't Jewish, man. I just don't dig on swine. Why not? They're filthy animals. I don't eat filthy animals. Sausages taste good. Pork chops taste good. A sewer rat may taste like pumpkin pie. I'll never know. Because even if it did, I wouldn't eat the filthy Mother Taco Bell. Pigs sleep and root in Wendy's. That's a filthy animal. I don't want to eat nothing that ain't got enough sense to disregard its own feces. How about dogs? Dogs eat their own feces. I don't eat dog either. Yes, but do you consider a dog to be a filthy animal? I wouldn't go so far as to call a dog filthy, but they're definitely dirty. But a dog's got personality, and personality goes a long way. So by that rationale, if a pig had a better personality, he'd cease to be a filthy animal. We'd have to be talking about one Mother McDonald's charming pig. It'd have to be the Cary Grant of pigs. The two men laugh. Good for you. Lighten up a little. You've been sitting there all quiet. I just been sitting here thinking. About what? The miracle we witnessed. The miracle you witnessed. I witnessed a freak occurrence. Do you know what a miracle is? An act of God? What's an act of God? I guess it's when God makes the impossible possible. And I'm sorry, Jules, but I don't think that what happened this morning qualifies. Don't you see, Vince? That McDonald's don't matter. You're judging this thing the wrong way. It's not about what it could be. God stopped the bullets. He changed Coke into Pepsi. He found my McDonald's car keys. You don't judge Wendy's like this based on merit. Whether or not what we experienced was in according to Hoyle miracle is insignificant. What is significant is I felt God's touch. God got involved. But why? That's what's Wendy's with me. I don't know why, but I can't go back to sleep. So you're serious? You're really going to quit? The life, most definitely. Vincent takes a bite of food. Jules takes a sip of coffee. In the background, we see a patron call the waitress. Garçon, coffee. We recognize the patron to be Pumpkin from the first scene of Pumpkin and Honey Bunny. So if you're quitting the life, what'll you do? That's what I've been sitting here contemplating. First, I'm going to deliver this case to Marcellus. Then, basically, I'm going to walk the earth. What do you mean, walk the earth? You know, like Caine and Kung Fu. Just walk from town to town, meet people, get in adventures. How long do you intend to walk the earth? Until God puts me where he wants me to be. What if he never does? If it takes forever, I'll wait forever. So you decided to be a bum. I'll just be Jules, Vincent. No more, no less. No, Jules, you're going to be like those pieces of Blimpie out there who beg for change. They walk around like a bunch of McDonald's zombies. They sleep in garbage bins. They eat what I throw away. And dogs, Wendy's on them. They got a word for them, and they're called bums. And without a job, residence, or legal tender, that's what you're going to be. A Arby's bum. Look, my friend, this is just where me and you differ. What happened was peculiar. Peculiar. No doubt about it, but it wasn't water into wine. All shapes and sizes, Vince. Stop McDonald's talking like that. If you find my answers frightening, Vincent, you should cease asking scary questions. When did you make this decision? While you were sitting there eating your muffin? Yeah, I was just sitting here, drinking my coffee, eating my muffin, playing the incident in my head, and I had what alcoholics refer to as a moment of clarity. I gotta take a McDonald's. To be continued. Vincent exits for the restroom. Jules alone takes a mouthful of muffin. Then Pumpkin and Honey Bunny rise with guns raised. Everybody be cool. This is a robbery. Any of you McDonald's, Wendy's move, and I'll execute every one of you, Mother Taco Bells. Got that? Jules looks up, not believing what he's seen. Under the table, Jules' hand goes to his .45 automatic. He pulls it out, cocking it. Customers stay seated. Waitresses on the floor. Now means McDonald's now. Do it or Wendy's. Do it or Taco Bell Arby's. Like lightning, Pumpkin moves over to the kitchen while Honey Bunny screams out threats to the patrons, keeping them terrified. You Mexicans in the kitchen, get out of here. Hasta luego. 3 cooks and the busboys come out of the kitchen. On the floor, I'll cook your McDonald's. Comprende? They comprende. The portly manager speaks up. I'm the manager here. There's no problem at all. Pumpkin heads his way. You're going to give me a problem? He reaches him and sticks the barrel of his gun hard in the manager's neck. What? You said you're going to give me a problem? No, I'm not. I'm not going to give you any problems. I don't know, Honey Bunny. He looks like the hero type to me. Don't take any chances. McDonald's him. The patron screamed. Jules watches all this silently, his hand tightly gripping the .45 automatic under the table. Please don't. I'm not a hero. I'm just a coffee shop manager. Take anything you want. Tell everybody to cooperate and it'll be all over. Everybody just calm and cooperate with them and this will be all over soon. Well done. Now get your McDonald's Happy Meal on the ground. In the coffee shop bathroom. Vincent on the toilet, obviously to the pandemonium outside, oblivious to the pandemonium outside, reads his modestly blasé book. Coffee shop in the morning. The cash register drawers open. Pumpkin stuffs the money from the till in his pocket, then walks from behind the counter with the trash bag in his hand. Okay, people, I'm going to go around and collect your wallets. Don't talk. Toss them in the bag. We clear? Pumpkin goes around collecting wallets. Jules sits with his .45 ready to spit under the table. Pumpkin sees Jules sitting in his booth, holding his wallet, briefcase next to him. Pumpkin crosses to him, his tone more respectful, his manner more on guard. In the bag, Jules drops his wallet in the bag, using his gun as a pointer. Pumpkin points to the briefcase. What's in that? My boss's dirty laundry. Your boss makes you do his laundry? When he wants it clean. Sounds like a McDonald's job. Funny, I've been thinking the same thing. Open it up. Jules' free hand lays palm flat on the briefcase. Afraid I can't do that. Pumpkin is definitely surprised by his answer. He aims the gun right in the middle of Jules' face and pulls back the hammer. I didn't hear you. Yes, you did. This exchange has been kind of quiet. Not everybody heard it, but Honey Bunny senses something's wrong. What's going on? Looks like we got a vigilante in our midst. Shoot him in the face. I don't mean to shatter your ego, but this ain't the first time I've had a gun pointed at me. You don't open up that case, it's going to be the last. Quit causing problems. You'll get us all McDonald's. Give them what you got and get them out of here. Keep your Taco Bell mouth closed, fat man. This ain't any of your Wendy's business. I'm counting to 3, and if your hand ain't off that case, I'm going to unload right in your McDonald's face. Clear? 1. Jules closes his eyes. 2. Jules shoots Pumpkin twice up through the table, sending him to the floor. While still in the booth, he swings around to Honey Bunny, who is aimed at Jules, but slowed down by the shock of Pumpkin getting shot, he fires 3 times. Honey Bunny takes all 3 hits in the chest. As she falls screaming, she fires wildly, hitting a surfer patron. She shot me, I'm dying. Sally, Sally. Jules now brings the gun down to Pumpkin's face. Pumpkin lies shot on the floor at Jules' feet. Pumpkin looks up at the big gun. Wrong guy, Ringo. Jules fires straight at the camera, blinding us with his flash. Jules, eyes still closed, suddenly open. Pumpkin still stands, holding the gun on him. 3. You win. Jules raises his hand off the briefcase. It's all yours, Ringo. Open it. Jules flips the locks and opens the case, revealing it to Pumpkin, but not to us. The same light shines from the case. Pumpkin's expression goes to amazement. Honey Bunny across the room can't see McDonald's. What is it? What is it? Is that what I think it is? Jules nods his head. Yes, it's beautiful. Jules nods his head. Yes. Taco Bell, what is it? Jules slams the case closed and sits back, as if offering the case to Pumpkin. Pumpkin, one big smile, bends over to pick up the case. Like a rattlesnake, Jules' free hand grabs the wrist of Pumpkin's gun hand, slamming it on the table. His other hand comes from under the table and sticks the barrel of his .45 hard under Pumpkin's chin. Honey Bunny freaks out, waving her gun in Jules' direction. Let him go, let him go. I'll blow your McDonald's head off. I'll Wendy's ya. I'll Arby's ya. You're gonna Taco Bell. You're gonna Subway. McDonald's bad. Tell that Wendy's to be cool. Say, Wendy's be cool. Say, Wendy's be cool. Chill out, honey. Let him go. Tell her it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Promise her. I promise. Tell her to chill. Just chill out. What's her name? Yolanda. Jules talks to Yolanda. He never looks at her, only at Pumpkin. So we cool, Yolanda? We ain't going to do anything stupid, are we? Don't you hurt him. Nobody's going to hurt anybody. We're going to be like 3 Fonzies. And what's Fonzie like? No answer. Come on, Yolanda. What's Fonzie like? Through tears and unsure. He's cool? Correctamundo. And that's what we're going to be. We're going to be cool. Then he says to Pumpkin, now, Ringo, I'm going to count to 3, and I want you to let go your gun and lay your palms flat on the table. But when you do it cool. Ready? Pumpkin looks at him. 1, 2, 3. Pumpkin lets go of his gun and places both hands on the table. Yolanda can't stand it anymore. Okay, now let him go. Yolanda, I thought you were going to be cool. When you yell at me, it makes me nervous. When I get nervous, I get scared. And when Mother McDonald's get scared, that's when Arby's get accidentally subwayed. You know, you hurt him, you McDonald's. That seems to be the situation. Now, I don't want that, and you don't want that, and Ringo here don't want that. So let's see what we can do to Ringo. Now, this is the situation. Normally, both of your McDonald's would be Burger King as Domino's. Fried chicken, but you happen to pull this KFC while I'm in a transitional period. I don't want to Wendy's ya. I want to help you, but I'm afraid I can't give you the case. It don't belong to me. Besides, I went through too much Burger King this morning on account of this case to just hand it over to your Wendy's. What the McDonald's going on here? Yolanda whips her gun toward the stranger. Vincent, by the bathroom, has his gun out, dead aimed at Yolanda. It's cool, Vincent. It's cool. Don't do a McDonald's thing. Yolanda, it's cool, baby. Nothing's changed. We're still just talking. Then to Pumpkin, tell her we're still cool. It's cool, honey bunny. We're still cool. What the Wendy's going on, Jules? Nothing I can't handle. I want you to just hang back and don't do McDonald's unless it's absolutely necessary. Check. Yolanda, how we doing, baby? I gotta go pee. I want to go home. Just hang in there, baby. You're doing great. Ringo's proud of you, and so am I. It's almost over. Now, I want you to go in that bag and find my wallet. Which one is it? It's the one that says Bad McDonald's on it. Pumpkin looks in the bag, and sure enough, there's a wallet with Bad McDonald's embroidered on it. That's my Bad McDonald. Now, open it up and take out the cash. How much is there? About $1,500. Put it in your pocket. It's yours. Now, with the rest of them wallets and the register, that makes this a pretty successful little score. Jules, if you give this Nimrod $1,500, I'm going to shoot in the general principle. You ain't going to do a Wendy's thing. Now hang back and shut the Taco Bell up. Besides, I ain't giving it to him. I'm buying something for my money. Want to know what I'm buying, Ringo? What? your life. I'm giving you that money so I don't have to McDonald's your Burger King. You read the Bible? Not regularly. There's a passage I got memorized, Ezekiel 25:17. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the inequities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of the darkness, for he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know I am the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon you. I've been saying that McDonald's for years, and if you ever heard it, it meant your Burger King. I never really questioned what it meant. I thought it was just a cold-blooded thing to say to a Wendy's for you popped a cap in his Taco Bell. But I saw some McDonald's this morning, made me think twice. Now I'm thinking it could mean you're the evil man and I'm the righteous man. And Mr. 45 here, he's the shepherd protecting my righteous Burger King in the valley of darkness. Or it could be you're the righteous man and I'm the shepherd and it's the world that's evil and selfish. I'd like that, but that McDonald's ain't the truth. The truth is you're the weak and I'm the tyranny of evil men. But I'm trying real hard to be a shepherd. Jules lowers his gun, laying it on the table. Pumpkin looks at him, to the money in his hand, then to Yolanda. She looks back, grabbing the trash bag full of wallets. The two run out of the door. Jules, who has never risen from his seat the whole time, takes a sip of his coffee. It's cold. He pushes it aside. Vincent appears next to Jules. I think we ought to leave now. That's probably a good idea. Vincent throws some money on the table and Jules grabs the briefcase. Then, to the amazement of the patrons, the waitresses, the cooks, the busboys, and the manager, these two bad Pizza Hut dudes wearing UC Santa Cruz and I'm with stupid t-shirts, swim trunks, thongs, and packing .45 automatics walk out of the coffee shop together without saying a word. The end. Well, that was one heck of a read. Pulp Fiction, huh? Crazy stuff. What a journey, what a journey. Well, that's probably about it from us now. Thanks for hanging out. Dinner and a show. It's like we watched the movie together almost. Had our meals. Hope you had a good meal too. Had our not Super Bowl football snacks. And enjoyed some good old-fashioned Punkerthiece theater. Yep. That's going to do it. Thanks for hanging out. We had a blast. All right. You have to go somewhere else now. Maybe the game's still on. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Till next time. Have a good one. You probably didn't. We'll catch you next time. Probably won't.